Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Let's get it. Yeah. Woo-hoo. Yes, y'all. Okay. Hopefully you guys are all doing well out there. Good afternoon. Good morning. It's almost afternoon time. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening to every single last one of y'all. Hope you are finding this show in great spirits because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. Let's not forget that. Let us not forget that, my beautiful people. Yes. It's time to get going. It's time to get into it. We're going to be going into multiple things going today because there's a lot of things going on today. Some things I've already talked about in shorts, but I haven't been able to expand on them. We got some new missing person cases, and of course, we got some stuff with D4vd's. Yes, guys, D4vd's. So we got some things to talk about. So get on in here and let's get this conversation on and popping. So please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. All right. Please and thank you. Hit that reaction button. If you're watching on these other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. I'm on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick. So make sure you are following me on all those platforms, please, and thank you. All right? Hit that join button. Oh, subscribe here. Subscribe here on my YouTube channel, the main channel right here. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Subscribe over there as well. Subscribe right now. Please and thank you. All right? Hit that notification bell on both platforms so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, because honestly, it is random. So whenever I can get in here, to be honest, and there's a lot going on, a whole lot of shaking going on. So make sure you do that. Okay, hit that notification bell, set it to all. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon if you want to support even further. And of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com. We got some really great stuff over there, so go check it out. PascalMerch.com. Okay, guys. And I want to say this really quick, okay? Millie Mills. No, I have not heard or seen anything about any Karen Reed filing. So that is news. That would be news to me. Okay. But I will look that up. I saw something like I saw a filing. I don't know what it's about though. Okay. I saw another content creator, it popped up on my YouTube homepage. And, thousands of people are flooding over there to see whatever it is this whole filing is. Honestly, it's all brand new news to me. And honestly, I'm not going to jump into something that I don't fully know what it's about. You see what I'm saying? And I don't have the filing. So, but I am kind of curious about it. And that may be something that we talk about at another time. All right. But nonetheless, that is just... We're already going to be venturing into the world of controversy today already. Okay, we're already going to be talking about the Karmelo Anthony stuff. We're talking about the D4vd's stuff. We got a new missing person out in Kyoto, Japan. And we got some other stuff that's going on with Anna Kepner. Some new updates, a big, huge update that just came out that the defense is trying, the guy, the person who's alleged of taking Anna Kepner's life, his team might be trying to use that as evidence as smoking gun evidence to exonerate their client. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot going on today. So the Karen Reed stuff is still brand new news to me. I need to look that up when I get some time and look through that stuff when I get some time. Okay. But if you have the filing, yes, one of our wonderful mods, just put it in the chat. Send it to me in email. that would be greatly appreciated. All right. Send me that email. Holla at your boy if you have it, so I can just take a look at it, and maybe it's something that I do later on this evening, or, first thing tomorrow morning. Okay. So send it my way if you have it, or if you have access to it. Okay. So a lot is going on today. There's a lot that we got to talk about, and very, very, not a whole lot of time to do it. Okay. There's a graduation shooting at Fairfield, California. What? Is that breaking right now, Ella? Or is that something else? Or is that like news that happened yesterday? Because I didn't hear about any shooting yesterday. Just let me know. Okay. But we're going to get into the main, into these topics right now. And the first one that we're going, whoops. I hate when that happens. That's terrible. Okay. But the thing that we are going to get into first, okay? Hold on. I'm just checking. Oh, it happened yesterday. Okay. I'll look into it. But for right now, we're going to get into what's going on right here. All right. So we have been talking about Anna Kepner for a little while now. And if you don't know about the Anna Kepner situation, Anna Kepner, 18 years old, she was on a cruise ship with her family, with her blended family, and then suddenly out of nowhere, she is found stuffed under a bed in her cabin that she was sharing with her brother, if I'm correct, and her stepbrother, dead. All right. Now, everything connects to her brother-in-law, her stepbrother, who is absolutely, apparently there was a history of him being absolutely obsessed. Okay. Absolutely obsessed with her. There's a history of that. This 16-year-old boy, this little monster by the name of Timothy Hudson. Now, we've been talking about this case for a significant amount of time now. All right. We have been talking about this for a minute, but one thing is for sure. This is absolutely terrifying. This is a heartbreaking case. And obviously it's grabbed everybody by the heartstrings for sure. It's grabbed everybody's attention. But now we got something that's very interesting going on here. Okay. Which is wild. Okay. Anna Kepner apparently had relations with a guy while on the cruise ship shortly before she was unalived. Now, I said this in the short. I'm going to say it again now here. 2, one of the things that people are wondering is, could this other young unknown male have something to do with her demise? Or was it solely done at the hands of stepbrother monster Timothy Hudson? Now, they say some things in this article to basically say, hey, like, listen, before you guys think that this minor, this other male that she had relations with before she passed away, that he has something to do with this. Nah. Yes, Dylan, this explains, at least in my personal opinion, this gives the prosecution motive. Yes, guys. This gives prosecution motive on why Timothy Hudson did what he did. It sounds like he got jealous. It sounds like he's been obsessed with her. He wanted to be with her. She wanted nothing to do with him. Like, ew, you're my stepbrother. That's gross. You're young. That's gross. You see what I'm saying? And that triggered him, that he couldn't be with her. But she went ahead and got with somebody else. Where? We don't know. How? We do not know. But what we do know is that now she's gone after being viciously SA'd by him, and then her life was taken by him shortly after she got it on with somebody else. Hate to say it like that, but that's the facts. This is what we're understanding now. So again, this explains motive, at least in my personal opinion, right? But the defense is trying to spin it, which is also very interesting. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so new questions are raising over her demise, okay, after they found DNA of another boy. You get what I'm saying, right? They found it during running an R kit, all right? So Anna Kepner, 18, allegedly had relations with an unknown male juvenile aboard a Carnival cruise ship shortly before her shocking demise, federal prosecutors revealed. Kepner was, obviously, her life was taken inside a cabin. And of course, she was viciously SA'd as well, all right, by her stepbrother. Allegedly by her stepbrother, but he did this, okay? Timothy Hudson and her in this cabin that she was sharing, okay, with her stepbrother and her 13-year-old brother, okay? Hudson, who was 16 at the time of this horrific crime, faces charges for her alleged SA and for her murder. But a recently unsealed 145-page detention hearing transcript obtained by Fox News painstakingly details the results of Kepner's post-mortem R kit, including disclosing that she had relations with an unidentified out-of-state minor at some point during the 6-day cruise, according to prosecutors. So this boy right here got really pissed off because she was getting it on with somebody else. And in his mind, he was saying, it should have been me. That's really messed up. So the R kit produced male DNA from 2 different swabs, okay, including one that tested positive for sperm. We'll just say it, okay, prosecutors said. Investigators eventually obtained DNA from Timothy Hudson, the stepbrother, okay, and the boy that she had relations with, okay, to compare with within this R kit results. The minor was excluded as a contributor, meaning none of his genetic material was found on Kepner after her gruesome death. So, just a quick reminder, that basically means that they did not find his DNA, if you get what I'm saying, on her or in the crime scene, for lack of a better term. That's a big deal. Prosecutors concluded that this DNA swab, okay, instead indicated that Hudson was the most likely male contributor. Even so, his defense has indicated that they could use this alleged hookup to their advantage in court proceedings. During the detention hearing, Hudson's attorney insisted that prosecutors were making assumptions about the R kit evidence, including whether the actual contact, alleged SA, and homicide were all part of the same event. So he's basically saying, like, are you sure? You can't really you really can't say that it's, are you sure the SA and the homicide happened at the same time? It could, they may have gotten together, on the sly, right? So on and so forth, right? They're basically saying the prosecution can't prove nothing. They're just shooting darts in the dark. They're shooting in the dark and hoping that they hit something, all right? The defense pressed an FBI agent on whether the medical examiner could determine how long after relations Kepner died, or whether the other person involved was the suspect who actually unalived her. The agent responded that he didn't, quote unquote, think they made that determination. Prosecutors argued that the bulk of the evidence, including the DNA, all indicated that Timothy Hudson, was the perpetrator. He reportedly had a twisted obsession, which we already know. He was obsessed, all right? He was absolutely obsessed with his high school senior stepsister, Anna Kepner. And he forced her to engage in unthinkable acts, okay? And this is what they're saying in these allegations. And of course, she died from mechanical asphyxiation after her stepbrother, held a bar hold okay? Held her in a bar hold, I'm sorry. All right? So, again, this guy is a piece of trash. He's a piece of trash. He ended up sleeping, her brother ended up sleeping just feet away from his sister's lifeless body. And of course, she was found on the following morning of November 7th, wrapped in a blanket, covered in life jackets, and shoved under a bed. A maid discovered her battered corpse while cleaning the cabin near the tail end of the cabin cruise. And he's expected to head to jail very soon, prison to be really honest. But he's actually out free right now. Okay. The case is expected to head to trial in September. So September is going to be a crazy time as well, because that piece of trash done did all of this. But again, they're trying to say, well, the fact that she had DNA inside of her from another boy, who's to say that that boy wasn't the one that took her life? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Okay? But again, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm telling you right now, just because she met a boy and she decided on her own free will to hook up with a boy while she's on vacation, that's on her. That does not automatically mean reasonable doubt. There's already too many other reports from the brother hearing certain things. You see what I'm saying? Before she actually was found dead, right? So again, there's already a history of him being very violent. There's already a history of him being obsessed and all that as well. So again, you can miss me with that nonsense to be completely real. But you know the defense is going to be grasping at straws, trying to do everything they can to, move the goalposts, because they got to insert reasonable doubt into the minds of that jury. Come September, they're going to be like, listen, you never know. I don't think, we believe our client is innocent. He didn't do anything. Yeah, he may have had a history of obsession over her, but at the same time, she did hook up with another boy. She was with another boy. Who's to say that that boy didn't end up taking her life before he hopped off the boat? They're going to try to instill reasonable doubt, but they ain't got nothing. There's too many smoking guns and too many breadcrumbs and evidence leading straight to his dirty, diabolical ass. Let's go over to News Nation and take a listen to this. I'm sure they got something interesting to say about this new evidence.
Nunez Navarro, great to have you here, Judge. Thanks for taking the time. This is a big revelation. The first thing I thought about, okay, if I take these allegations as true that the stepbrother sexually assaulted and killed her, and he finds out that she had sexual relations with a juvenile on that cruise ship, is that motive? Is this jealousy? Is that what you think is going on here?
Good evening, Jesse. Yes, I mean, that's certainly one possible theory that the prosecutor can take. But I'm thinking to myself, as a judge and seeing so many of these cases, I'm thinking this is an in for the defense to say, what is this? We have a second minor. We have her having sex with this minor. So what more do we not know? So I'm thinking more of a defense perspective. This is a reasonable doubt opening.
In other words, when you have another player in a case like this, you're going to see defense attorneys potentially pointing the finger. I mean, I guess they'll do it two ways, right? I mean, when they'll say, hey, what a sloppy investigation. How do you know where this DNA came from? Why are you telling this so late? When did you know about this? Did you know about it after you made the arrest? Or is it the defense going to point the finger at this juvenile teen as the killer?
Absolutely. That's two possible defenses. If I put on my defense hat, I'm thinking, who else was in that room? I want to know where the sex occurred. I want to know, who this minor is. I certainly want to make sure that all questions are asked. And like you said, the FBI agent didn't take DNA from the neck. So how can we say that this was, in fact, Hudson? These are all questions.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Wow. That's absolutely crazy. If you really think about it, that's absolutely crazy. Think about that for a second. Because again, if they didn't take DNA from the neck where he literally put his arm on her, you see what I'm saying, to take her out, then that's a big deal. Here's the thing. If it was sloppy investigative work, then yes, they can literally slather reasonable doubt all over this stuff. When we already know that this is the kid who did it. Do you understand that this kid did it? This kid did it. But he could get out. There's a possibility that he could get out on a technicality. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Okay, we ain't done yet, but that's insane. Think about that information. If their investigation and them retrieving evidence was that sloppy, yeah, you could definitely have room for reasonable doubt, especially if she had relations with another person, okay, before she lost her life. Now, Sunflower, thank you so much for that comment. Cameras, period, unless he used an invisible cloak to enter the actual room. Yeah, no doubt. I agree with that 100%. What about video evidence? Because here's the thing. This other unnamed boy that ended up getting it on with her, they're going to see him leaving and coming in and going, entering the room and leaving the room. They're going to show that if they have cameras on the doggone in the hallways. They better have them, because now there's reasonable doubt slathered all over this mother lover. You see what I'm saying? This is no bueno. This is no bueno if this is the case. Okay? Sloppy investigation that could lead to the potential insertion of reasonable doubt into the minds of the jury. That's not good. This kid did it, though. This kid did it. This kid did this. But let's continue. I'll explain in a little bit why he's allowed to walk free right now. Okay? I'm going to explain all that in just a little bit. But let's continue on. Also, Court TV, shout out to all y'all, because you guys are amazing. You guys are giving me the update. There is going to be a Karmelo Anthony update. Okay, so we will be listening to Court TV in just a little while to see their coverage after, I guess they're going into a lunch break soon. Okay, so we will be covering that very, very soon. Some updates in the Karmelo Anthony case or trial is upcoming. All right, so stay tuned. Hit the like button down below, guys, please. As you get in, hit it, smack it. Okay, smack it hard. All right, that'll be great. Smack that like button hard. All right. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, dag nabbit. We are covering a lot of stuff today in a very short amount of time. So let's go.
Is that the prosecutor will make sure they have to address with the jury.
Was that a big deal what the FBI agent said regarding the DNA on the neck and regarding whether, the injuries and the strangulation, who may have done it?
It's as big of a deal as the defense wants to make it. So it's up to them. But at the end of the day, the prosecutor, the government has a burden, and that's to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that a murder occurred and that Hudson did it. So whatever holes they can poke in the prosecution's case, the better off they are.
I guess I'm a little confused as to two.
I'm sorry. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. As much as I thought that this was going to be like an open and shut case, I still think it is. But the fact that they can come in and argue this and use this and go, okay, she got with another dude before she passed. Who's to say that who's to say that she lost her life from that guy? But they said that other DNA, that there's two male DNA. They found DNA of him there too. He SA'd her. I don't know. They could, I don't know. They could even argue, which would be insane. How dare they lie on the dead like that? But they could also say, oh, God, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, but we got to, that maybe she was having some sort of relations with the stepbrother. I mean, I can't even think that being possible, but they may try to throw that out there too. Or they might try to use this and say, you know, that she was promiscuous and see how promiscuous she was and so on and so. You see what I'm saying? Like slut shaming her or something. You feel me? And she may not have even been a bad, you know what I'm saying? She just saw a guy, thought he was cute and got with him. Who cares? You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So they might try to make it seem like she's a wild girl and all that. Like I said, there's so many avenues that this defense team could go. They could go dirty. They could go guttural with this. You feel me? They can go to the gutter with this. So again, and try to paint some sort of scenario to make it seem like she's someone that she's not. Again, reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt, though. That's what they're trying to smash into the brains of these jurors. And I don't like it, not one bit. I say it right here, not one bit. Let's go.
Here, right? Is there a situation where the DNA evidence, the forensic evidence, is going to be so strong that the defense is going to have a problem to say that Hudson didn't sexually assault Anna, that they may have to admit that, but say, hey, he didn't murder her? But because I don't know if that would work. I mean, the stepbrother sexually assaulting his stepsister, if the jury hears that and hears that potential admission, that's going to be a connective link that they may not get past and say, he had to have killed her too. I mean, you tell me how I should be thinking about it.
Listen, you can think about it however way you want to think about it. You can put your prosecutor hat on, you can put your defense attorney hat on. I'm thinking as a prosecutor, as a former prosecutor, I'm thinking I have an uphill battle because I have a second minor who she had sex with either days before or the same day. So was she having consensual sex with her stepbrother? Was this maybe not a rape? And
see, I have not seen this video yet. I swear to God. See what I'm saying? They're going to try. The defense could go dirty with this. And that's not good. That's not good. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that she lost her life. It's unfortunate like that, you know, her choices as being a young, free, young woman could also come back to bite this whole case in the butt and could possibly, potentially set this monster free. But again, that is all about whether or not they're able to instill that reasonable doubt into that jury. That it's really that. But that's wild that they could go down that route. This is crazy.
Does rape equal murder? No, absolutely not. So these are all questions and holes that the defense will definitely be prying into.
I don't want to make accusations here, but just to be clear, you're saying there's a possibility, and correct me if I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong. Is the defense going to use this evidence to tarnish the reputation of Anna, to cast her in a certain light? In a way?
I have not, I swear to God. I swear to God, I have not seen this video. I have not seen this video at all. And he's saying the exact same things I just said. And I don't like even thinking that. But I'm like, oh my Lord, could it be that, oh dear Lord. Yeah, video footage, but it is what it is. Yeah, video footage is absolutely key to this whole situation. I swear, I have not seen this video at all. I pulled this up. I know the article, but I have not seen this. So this is absolutely crazy that they, you know, even Jesse Weber, shout out to Jesse Weber, is saying the same thing I'm thinking. Like, could they actually use this to possibly, you know, say that she was getting, you know, had relations with him knowingly, consensually having relations with the stepbrother. This is insane, guys.
And how exactly would they do that?
Yeah.
Well, I hate to be the first one to say that, but that's what happens. You know, I've certainly sat on all sides of these cases as a former judge, as a former prosecutor, as a former defense attorney. If I'm thinking like a defense attorney, I'm thinking she's having sex with other minors, she's having sex with the stepbrother. You as a defense attorney, you can throw a plethora of reasonable doubt at the wall and see what sticks. as a prosecutor, you have to wear the white hat. You have to seek justice in everything that you do, and you have to have evidence that corroborates every single thing that you're putting forth to that jury. So it's not equal. It's not both sides, as you know, Jesse.
Well, I know, but at the same time, if you're taking the prosecution's allegations that he was the only one in that room with her, and now you add this, and we go circle back to the top of the conversation that, you know, maybe if they're going to try to present this to show that he was jealous and, you know, what was going on here, it becomes a very different case. So it does depend how you look at it. It's just an interesting development nonetheless. Judge.
Yeah, I think that this would be, it's an interesting turn of events. Okay, it's a little bit of a left turn. Could it mean that this is like that Anna Kepner's case is completely just imploded on itself? No, I don't think so. It just means that there's going to be a little bit more of a fight going on. That's just what I truly think. I think that there's going to be a serious struggle going on. But at the same time, you know, it's both sides' jobs to present a strong argument for both, for their client, you know what I mean? For the opposing sides, you know what I mean? For the defense and prosecution. That is their job. Their job is to basically say, hey, he did this. Here is how he did this, and break it down, right? And show up with the evidence. Same thing with his team. Timothy Hudson's job, or his team's job, is to literally say, hey, he is innocent. Reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt, reasonable doubt. Here is why we think, you know, and we believe that he had nothing to do with this, right? And that she was out here, you know, and she got with another dude. Could it be that the other dude did it? So on and so forth. I'm hoping that they get the other kid and they bring his ass into this mother-loving trial. That's what I'm hoping for, because at the end of the day, he literally might be the missing key. Again, I know there's video footage and all that, but at the same time, and that will be smoking gun evidence as well. But you got to understand, this defense team is going to play dirty. They are definitely going to play dirty. That's their job, you know? So we'll see what happens here. But we have got to get into some of this updates in the Karmelo Anthony case, in the Karmelo Anthony trial. We got some updates, y'all. Updates. So let's get straight into this, mother lover, because this is live right now as we speak.
Divided, talking about race and self-defense. And today we are following day one of Karmelo Anthony's murder trial happening out there in McKinney. And inside of that courtroom now, they have taken a break. We've been following those live notes all day, and we're going to check in with Cody Thomas in just a moment. But where we're at right now is after the first witness was called by the state, a forensic video analyst was the one who was testifying to multiple wide-angled surveillance videos that the prosecution admitted was not crystal clear. But while playing that video, there was some reaction in the gallery. Now, cameras are not allowed inside of this courtroom, but they're on the ground in Frisco. We have our own Cody Thomas, who is following everything that's happening. Let's take a look back. Even though we don't have those cameras, we do have the defense attorney, Mike Howard, what he said before the gag order was put in place in this case.
We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense. Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense. The law does not expect or require the citizen accused to prove that they acted in self-defense. It's actually the opposite. The law requires the prosecution to rule out the reasonable doubt that the citizen accused may have acted in self-defense.
And let's go right now to someone who was inside of that courtroom listening to these opening statements. No cameras, but we have our eyes and ears inside of the courtroom. Cody Thomas joins us now live outside of the courthouse in McKinney, Texas. Cody, good to see you.
Oh boy.
Tell me about those opening statements. First of all, what was it like being inside of the courthouse for those?
Well, yeah, Julia, as we know this judge is really laying down the law inside that courtroom, being very strict on how people go to and from the courtroom, and about, us as media using electronics. He even admonished members of the gallery for whispering to each other, saying if he caught somebody whispering again, I didn't see anybody whispering, but, he just said if he saw that again, they'd keep them out. He'd kick them out permanently. But, Julia, to touch on those opening statements, of course, the prosecution is continuing the narrative that we've heard from the beginning since April of 2025 that Karmelo Anthony was under that tent for no good reason. He was just there, and then Austin Metcalf and his friends came up to approach him to say, get out from under the tent, to which Karmelo Anthony, the prosecution says, got aggressive, reached in that bag, pulled out a knife, and stabbed Austin Metcalf. But the defense in their opening statements painted a different picture. They began by humanizing Karmelo Anthony, talking about how he had 2 jobs in high school, how he was, a brother, a son, an oldest brother, how he was a 3.7 GPA A student in school, just really painting him out to be a good human being before diving into their version of the facts of the case. Now, of course, we've heard that statement from eyewitnesses, or a witness on the stand, or not on the stand, in the area, saying that Karmelo reached into the bag saying, touch me if you want to, or see what happens if you touch me. And that's what led, when Austin pushed him, he stabbed him in the chest. But the defense attorney says it was more of a, as long as you don't touch me, we'll be cool, implying that, everything's fine. I understand there's a verbal altercation going on here, but just don't put your hands on me. So that was the narrative the defense painted there. They also said that Karmelo was under the tent because he was seeing somebody he was familiar with, a friend of his still girlfriend now, somebody he'd been acquainted with, somebody he recognized. And then they walked through some of that video, Julia, showing that Karmelo Anthony was under the tent for about 2 minutes before Metcalf, his twin brother, and their friends got to the tent, and the whole ordeal went down in about 4.5 minutes of both of them, both parties being under that tent, Julia. But
hold on. There's a lot to dissect here. So you went underneath that tent. He went underneath that tent because I'm rolling this back a little bit, because there was a part, like, if you touch me, if you touch me, that'll be cool. I don't want to misquote what Cody just said here. So I'm going to roll that back. But the way that they're breaking it down, of course, they're like, he has a 3.75 GPA. He's an incredible individual. You know what I mean? They're trying to do all that crap right now, which is fine. But then at the same time, what? Hold on. Let's play that one more time.
Him out to be a good human being before diving into their version of the facts of the case. Now, of course, we've heard that statement from eyewitnesses, or a witness on the stand, or not on the stand, in the area, saying that Karmelo reached into the bag saying, touch me if you want to, or see what happens if you touch me. And that's what led, when Austin pushed him, he stabbed him in the chest. But the defense attorney says it was more of a, as long as you don't touch me, we'll be cool.
Interesting. But that's different, right? Why would somebody say that? As long as you don't touch me, we'll be cool. That's a weird thing to say. All right. That's a very, very weird thing. Then the other thing that he said is that he went underneath that tent to rap with a guy that he knew, because I guess he has a girlfriend. Karmelo has a girlfriend. He was talking to a friend of his girlfriend, which I'm assuming is a guy, or was it a girl? I don't know, but interesting, right? Let's just play that last part and then we're gonna skip ahead.
Implying that, everything's fine. I understand there's a verbal altercation going on here, but just don't put your hands on me. So that was the narrative the defense painted there. They also said that Karmelo was under the tent because he was seeing somebody he was familiar with, a friend of his still girlfriend now, somebody he'd been acquainted with, somebody he recognized. And then they walked through still girlfriend now, somebody he'd been acquainted with. The defense painted there. They also said that Karmelo was under the tent because he was seeing somebody he was familiar with, a friend of his still girlfriend now, somebody he'd been acquainted with, somebody he recognized. And then they walked through.
So he must have been talking to a girl. It must have been a girlfriend. Like, it must have been one of her girls. You know what I mean? One of his girlfriend's friends who happens to be female. So he walked over there. He sat underneath the tent. He was rapping with girlfriend's friend. And it could be a guy, but they're not telling us gender right now. And then all this stuff happened. So it must have been a girl. But I could be wrong. And maybe the guy was like, maybe Austin walked up and was like, in a way, like, why are you talking to our girls? You know what I mean? Like, these are our girls. Yeah, I don't know. It seems very strange. You know what I'm saying? Very strange. Like, why would you talk to our, you know what I mean? I don't know. This seems a little bit weird, but let's continue on. This is very, very interesting.
Some of that video, Julia, showing that Karmelo Anthony was under the tent for about 2 minutes before Metcalf, his twin brother, and their friends got to the tent, and the whole ordeal went down in about 4.5 minutes of both parties being under that tent, Julia. But again, emotional out here. I'm looking around it here. There's a lot more demonstrators than there were yesterday during jury selection. So, you know, each side is here. It's a polarizing case, of course, that has caught many headlines across this country.
Yep.
But those opening statements were definitely powerful on either side.
Wow.
Notes, Cody. We're so fortunate that you've been able to share with us what is happening inside of that courtroom. Tell us more about the surveillance video, because your notes on this were very interesting. What were you able to see? And then I also understand there was a reaction from the victim's family when that was being played.
Yeah, Julia. So that's in the opening statement. They were referencing surveillance video, and you know, of course, everyone wanted to see video. We haven't seen anything. There's been a gag order on this case since the very beginning last year. So they start playing this video. There are 5 different angles of the video getting walked through from testimony by the forensic video analyst, and they were very wide-angle videos, Julia. And the witness had to talk about how he had to use this software to zoom in and try to make the video as clear as possible. And even then, Julia, I won't lie, it still looked very fuzzy and hazy. It definitely sets the scene. You can see what's going on, but even the prosecution distinctly said that you won't be able to uniquely identify anyone, but they referred to Karmelo on the video as the person of interest, and they referred to Austin Metcalf as the victim. Of course, as the forensic analyst has digested this video and dissected it and pointed out everything that we need to know, going through shoes and the type of clothing they were wearing. So we identified who each person was in the video, even though they kind of just look like humanoid blobs. But you see, one thing that stood out to me, Julie, is that, you know, I'm very familiar with track meets. I was under the impression that, you know, when you go to a championship track meet, you have multiple tents on the same side of the bleachers. But in this video, because it's early in the morning, just before 10 a.m. when all this happened, the high school where all this went down, Memorial High School, it was just an isolated tent in the bleachers by itself. There were no surrounding, you know, schools or anything in the general area. You saw some schools walking in, but I guess, you know, the meet was just starting. But anyway, they identified Karmelo walking up the bleachers, kind of walking towards the tent. He kind of goes towards someone, and you see him standing there for a couple of minutes. Then you see Austin Metcalf, his twin brother, and his friends walking up and getting under the tent. And then once everything is happening under the tent, it just kind of looks like a blob of people. You can't really make out anything that's really going on for 5 to 6 minutes. And then you see a quick to and from. You know, and they were implying that was like the push, the initial contact. You can't really see anything happening. Before then, you see people walking by. They're not really, you know, turning heads as if something's loud and, you know, something's catching their attention. But all of a sudden, you see that to and from, and then you see Karmelo, or who they identify as person of interest, who we're assuming to be Karmelo Anthony. He runs out from under the tent, and then he's running down the bleachers, sprinting a ways away from the tent and out of the stadium onto the track and everything towards one of his coaches. And eventually after that, we see another angle of the video where Karmelo's been taken into custody by police. But the reaction, Julia, it wasn't a visceral reaction. You know, when you saw the to and from, of course, that's the stabbing action, if you will. All I saw, I'm sitting 2 rows behind Austin Metcalf's father, and his head was just kind of in his hands, kind of like this. Wasn't necessarily crying, but, you know, just implying that he doesn't really want to see, even though you can't see the stabbing, but he knows in his mind this is the moment that his son lost his life. So he was just there, you know, obviously overwhelmed by everything. I'm sitting right behind the Metcalf family. Karmelo Anthony's family is on the opposite side of the courtroom. But again, the video, not as impactful as I thought, but it definitely is a scene setter to help us understand clearer as to what's going on, since we haven't seen anything so far in this case.
Wow. So they ain't got no clear video of this altercation. Not one clear video of this altercation. Why are we looking at blobs? He said like humanoid blobs. Why are we getting humanoid blobs right now, y'all? Like, you don't think we could get a better video? Ain't nobody was filming their son like, oh, look at little Ray doing his 50-yard dash. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my damn, there's an altercation going on. What? You know what I mean? You mean to tell me we don't have nothing? That's not good, y'all. But one thing is for sure, he said in the video, it looks like it's a shove. Now, does a shove automatically mean knife in chest? I don't know. But I am kind of curious about how there was no one filming anything at all. That's weird, right? Like, or at least they haven't shown that footage yet. No one was filming at all. Everyone just decided, we're just not going to use social media today. We're not going to do a Snapchat. We're not going to film any of this. We're not going to film our son or our daughters doing the pole vaulting or whatever the hell it is. You know what I mean? What any of these events that they were a part of. Nobody? So we just have a humanoid blob of what it looks like Austin Metcalf possibly shoving Karmelo. And then you see what we just heard from Cody, what it looks like to be Karmelo running from out underneath the tent and sprinting down the field. And that's it? There better be better footage than this, because this is ridiculous. Let's continue.
Incredible detail, Cody. You're setting the scene for us. Not being
That's
able to
crazy.
see what's going on in this case that has so many eyes on it is really helpful. You also broke some news for us earlier when it came to the jury. There have been a lot of questions about who's on this jury, what may be their demographics, how will that impact a case that has had a lot of polarization racially, especially online, even though we know these parties say, even the prosecution today in the opening saying this is not about race. But what have you observed about the racial makeup of this jury?
Yeah, Julia. So, of course, this, with the optics of this case, this story here, young black kid, young white kid, violent crime. Of course, people are going to have their opinions. They're going to have their judgments. And, the jury was, that the makeup of the jury was in question. And so, of course, I was in jury selection yesterday, and that jury was seated around just after 5 p.m. yesterday. And I couldn't necessarily see the courtroom today. We saw reports last night that there was no African-American people on the jury, and that held to be true. It's a majority white jury, of course, made up of men and women. There are 3 Asian women on the jury. One what looked to be a Middle Eastern woman on the jury, and another person of darker complexion on the jury, but none of them were African-American. There's a total of 12 jurors, 6 alternates, so a total of 18, I guess I should say. But yeah, majority white jury. All the men are white as well, so the reports were true. No African-American people on this jury. I remember yesterday during jury selection, the defense raised an objection to the prosecution's strikes. In the strike zone, there were 3 black female jurors that the prosecution wanted to strike, and that would have been all the African-American jurors that were available at the time. And the prosecution says they did not strike them on a racial basis, but on an occupational basis, because they were all educators, and they thought that would hold some sort of bias because all of this went down at a school. But the defense's objection was eventually denied by the judge, and the judge, granted the strikes on behalf of the prosecution. So those are the only 3 available African-American jurors at the time, right before the jury got seated. That objection got denied about 15 minutes before it was seated yesterday. So majority white jury, 3 Asian women and 2 women of color, but no African-Americans at all.
Oh, and the judge saying?
I mean, obviously very interesting. Very interesting. No black jurors at all. Iceman Cometh, thank you so much for the super chat. Pascal, I know that the two aren't related, but every time I hear about goings-ons in this trial, I quickly think, what is the basketball player accused? And then, wait, wrong one, LOL. I don't understand that comment. I don't. I don't know what you're pertaining to, which I don't know what you're talking about. No disrespect. I just don't know what you're talking about. But again, like I said, this is very interesting. All right. This is not okay. If you're on the side of Karmelo, that you're on his side saying that he has done no wrong, that this was out of self-defense, this does not help his cause. So far, this is not helping his cause. And I'm not talking about the no black jurors on the trial, okay? Or in the jury. I'm talking about just the evidence that they've already presented in this opening statement, okay? Karmelo Anthony, the basketball player. Now I get what you're trying to say. Now I get it. Now I get it. Sorry about that. Okay. But again, very, very interesting stuff nonetheless. And yes, we are going to get to the D4vd's stuff in just a little bit. Calm down. All right. This is also important. This is a very, very big trial, and we were waiting for some updates, and now we're getting them now. Okay. So again, this is some very, very interesting stuff. Is Karmelo Anthony completely cooked? Nah. Maybe. But he's not out. He's not in the dark. He's not out of the dark quite yet. We'll see. Like I said, I need proof of self-defense. You see what I'm saying? A shove, in my personal opinion, doesn't automatically mean a knife in the chest. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? To me, I don't see it as that. A shove does not automatically equate, in my mind, to a knife in the chest. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it really is. Maybe it does equate to a knife in the chest. I really don't know. But this is just starting, this case, right? And yes, everything happened within about 4 minutes. You know, within 2 minutes of him sitting down underneath that tent talking to his girlfriend's friend, an altercation started happening. 2 minutes later, he's running out from underneath that tent. Stuff escalated pretty damn fast, right? And he says he sees shoving, like a movement, like somebody shoved somebody else, right? So Austin Metcalf did shove Karmelo. That's not a weird camera glitch, a digital glitch. No, he shoved Karmelo Anthony. But does that automatically mean he deserves a knife in the chest? I don't know. Hopefully they're bringing in experts to talk about all that crap and then some. Let's continue.
That there were race-neutral reasons for the strikes of the African Americans in that pool. Cody Thomas, thank you for all of those details. I know you've got to get back inside of that courtroom and grab some lunch before you get back, so we will see you later on. There's no escaping how polarizing this trial is. Both Karmelo's mother and Austin Metcalf's father have spoken about the emotional toll here. And joining me now is someone who knows really better than anyone about a trial being this polarizing. He's an attorney who successfully defended George Zimmerman, who was accused of murdering Trayvon Martin.
Wow.
And that was a case that had issues of race and self-defense, and defined that trial as well.
He got exonerated too. He was acquitted, remember? Remember this guy? George Zimmerman? Yeah. Oh, I'm very interested to hear what this lawyer has to say. Let's hear this really quick, and then we'll be moving on.
With us, Mark O'Mara. Mark, it is so good to have you on. Thank you so much for joining me. I think you're an important voice here because whether you see it this way or not, there are many people online, people who are reacting to this case, and it often seems this way whenever we have a case where two different parties are of different races. You have a self-defense allegation and one is unarmed, the victim. There's often a reference to the Trayvon Martin case, the George Zimmerman case. Sure. I want to ask your opinion. Do you see similarities here in this case?
Oh, no, there definitely are. It is undeniable, and we can't and really shouldn't even deny the harsh reality that race interposes itself on most criminal trials. It imposes itself on the criminal justice system as a whole. And it does so here in this case, only because they are of different races. Now, I'm not saying that Karmelo had any racial intent in his actions, but we as the observers, right, as the viewers of it, look at this and say, oh, obviously there's a racial component. There may have been nothing in either one of their minds the day that this happened, this tragedy occurred. But we look at it as lawyers and as commentators and say we have to be aware of it because we know, and I've argued for decades, that there's an undeniable bias existing in the criminal justice system against young black males. Used to be we could never even talk about it 20 years ago or so. Finally, we can talk about that undeniable bias, but it's there. And I would tell you, I'm very concerned that there is not an African American on this panel, and more concerned that the state was able to cross out 3 African American females that were opposed on what we do call Batson strike because of a concern of a racial striking. And that's a problem for this trial, and we haven't even started yet.
Yeah, that's been concerning to a lot of people who are reacting to this. I'm curious what the breakdown was in that landmark trial that you successfully represented George Zimmerman, if you remember. Was it similar? There are other cases. The Ahmaud Arbery one stands out to me, where there was a question of that jury. There was only one African-American on that one down in Brunswick, Georgia. What do you think that has, if it has an impact at all, on how the outcome may be in this case, and will they have a successful appeal if there's a conviction?
Well, again, my jury was 6 women, only one who was identified as maybe biracial, but no African Americans on my jury. I am very concerned, as I mentioned a moment ago, about the fact that we now go into this trial with a racial component not only existing as it did before jury selection, but now I think exaggerated or exacerbated, because now 12 non-African Americans are going to decide this kid's fate. And just as we had to deal with in the Zimmerman case, you want to have something that people can place their trust in the verdict, whatever it is. And I was sort of hopeful in the Zimmerman case that since all the evidence came out, all the arguments came out, that it would at least be understood, but it was still difficult to trust. When you go into a case like this with the undeniable racial concern and do it with a jury that has no African Americans, not only do you build in a possible appellate issue, but you really build in a social issue, that how is the Black community going to look at this if he gets convicted and say this is a just verdict? They're going.
Thank you. I mean, let's keep it real. They apparently, as far as the selection of jury, right? Each side has a certain amount of like veto cards, I guess, or something of that sort to be able to be like, well, wait a second, we want juror 629 or something like that. But apparently this defense for Karmelo ran out of that or something like that. I don't know. It's very strange, but exactly what Mark O'Mara is saying right here, I agree with. You got to be out of your freaking mind to not have not one Black juror in that jury. Because what is that going to say to the community that is sitting there saying, we want him to have a fair trial? And this is already a high profile, heavily racially divisive trial. Like I said, some of y'all I read some of y'all comments in the last live I did talking about this no Black jurors thing. And some of y'all are like, I'm unsubscribing. I can't believe you think that about white people. I don't think anything bad about white people. No, I'm just saying that it's not fair. It's not a full fair trial to the perspective of other people that want him to have a fair trial. I want him to have a fair trial. I don't have any skin in this game, and also I don't have an opinion about whether if this was self-defense or not. I'm waiting for the trial to present whether it is self-defense or not. I don't know. That's why I said, is a shove suddenly meaning that he deserves a knife in the chest? I don't know. You see what I'm saying? That's not me being like, oh, suddenly, all white people, can't trust white people. No, I'm not. That's not at all what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is there's going to be a certain group, there's going to be a certain certain side of the world that's going to look at this situation and not be happy with it right off the bat. This is the reason why it's starting to percolate even more out in the streets outside of the courthouse, because of how polarizing and how volatile and how divisive this particular case in this trial is. The last thing you want to do is ruffle those kinds of feathers out in the streets. It could cause some serious potential, problems. Okay. So again, all I'm saying is this is not fully a balanced jury, in my personal opinion, especially when you look at it in the perspective of those that are already saying he's in a losing battle solely because he is a black man, a young black man. That's literally what if you look at that side of the situation for a second, that's what they're going to be saying. And I'm sure that's what they're saying out in the streets right now. I'm just saying. And we're hearing from a lawyer himself who actually got that mother lover George Zimmerman free. That piece of work free. And he is even sitting here saying, nah, this is out of pocket. There's going to be a lot of angry people out there already. Doesn't even matter if he's guilty, found guilty or not guilty. They're already going to be pissed right now because of what is going on inside that courtroom. People are going to automatically think they're not giving him a fair fight in the court system. I'm just repeating what they're saying out here in these streets and exactly what he's saying right here too. So, he's the guy who got George Zimmerman free. I want to make that abundantly clear. Just want to make that abundantly clear. You remember, did you know that didn't George Zimmerman put the gun that he took the life of Trayvon Martin on like eBay, or he put it up on some sort of auction block or some crap like that? Didn't he do some stupid ish like that? This is the lawyer that got him off. This is the guy that got him off.
To look at it the way they've had to for decades, which is to buy a system. Here's an example of it.
Oh, wow. Really great insight, Mark. We have to get a break, but you're going to stick around a little longer. We have a lot we're going to talk about on this case. Coming up, we're going to look.
Okay. Now, obviously, there's a lot. And then, of course, they're going to be standing by because, of course, there's going to be more coverage after the fact and all of that. Okay. But again, that's an update on what's going on. They saw some footage. The footage, not very clear, kind of muddy, kind of murky. But they saw some movement of somebody shoving somebody else. That is a big deal. But again, I asked the question, and like I said, I'm still on the fence. I'm not on no side. I'm not sitting here saying that he should be free. I'm not saying that he should be locked up. All I'm saying is a valuable and honest question. If it's depicted on film that Austin Metcalf shoved him and shoved him hard, it seems like, does that automatically mean a knife? Does that justify a knife in the chest? Just remember that. Okay? Asking for a friend. All right, Mimi, thank you so much for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. He could run away just like after he did. He could run away just like after he did. He could run away just like after he did. I don't know what that means, Mimi. I'm sorry. Try that again. If you can, that'd be greatly appreciated. But I don't understand that. Okay. But moving on, we got to get into this other piece. Okay. We're going into another thing. Before we go into the D4vd's stuff. Okay. We have got to talk about this situation right here. Hold on. Let me just make sure I got this. Okay. We have got to talk about this other situation that's going on in Kyoto, Japan. Now, I don't know if you guys know about this whole story in this case going on over there about this Auburn University student by the name of Weston Higginbotham. Okay. A college student is missing out in Kyoto. He went out there to celebrate graduation, if I'm correct, for his brother. He and his family went out to Kyoto, Japan to celebrate. While they were out there, he went on a hiking trail, allegedly, and he was never seen or heard from ever again. Now, this young man, is still missing. This college student is still missing. A family is desperately trying to get the word out there and is desperately trying to get this young boy found so that they can go back home. The family is right now still stuck in Kyoto, in Japan right now, because they're in the middle trying to find their son. They have extended their stay and all that, and they don't know where he is. Apparently, he's really, really okay. He's very well known for his hikes. Like, he's a very experienced hiker. That's also something that we need to remember too. All right. So we have got to take a look at this. Okay. So Auburn University student, his name is James Weston Higginbotham, but he goes by Weston, just so you know. So when you see the names, you're going to see a lot of that. Okay. But his name is, he goes by Weston. All right. So again, what we know about this particular search. So an Auburn University student is missing in Japan. Authorities and family members are searching after he disappeared during a family trip. So I'm just going to call him Weston, okay? But his name is James Weston Higginbotham, okay? He goes by Weston. He's 20 years old, was last confirmed in the Kyoto area on May 29th. So he's been missing for a while, okay? While traveling with his family, according to information released on social media by his mother, Nancy Higginbotham. So this is the things that we know. What we know so far. Police are searching on foot with canines and using helicopters near Bishamondo, which is near Yamashina. Okay, so Weston, 20, last seen in Kyoto, in the Kyoto area on May 29th. Because of his hiking experience, family members believe he may have traveled into wooded or trail areas near Yamashina. So a typhoon moved through the region Tuesday, complicating efforts to search trails and wooded areas near where Weston was last known to be. His mother, Nancy, said she is concerned he may be in emotional distress. Anyone who sees him is asked not to publicly post his location, but instead contact local police immediately and then notify family. So the search, officials are searching with canines on foot with helicopters near the Bishamondo Wednesday, which is near Yamashina. So we can take a look at some of this. If it actually works. Commercials. Gotta love that. Hold on. Okay, we can see. So they are literally in the middle of trying to find this young man right now as we speak. There is rumor that maybe there was some sort of fight that he had with his parents before he took off. There has been rumor of that. We're going to be talking about that in just a minute. That is the area where police used surveillance video and other devices as they worked to piece together his movements and find Weston's last location. A police report has been filed. As the search continues, family is also dealing with difficult weather conditions. A typhoon moved through the region on Tuesday, complicating the efforts to search trails and wooded areas like we just read a second ago. The latest information from investigators places Higginbotham, Weston, at Yamashina Station east of Kyoto. Surveillance footage reviewed by police show that he made it to the station, actually, okay, according to his family. His family said he arrived at Kyoto Station at 8:15 p.m. on May 29th. His phone last showed activity at 8:29 p.m. So for about 14 minutes, he was there, and then 14 minutes later, it's almost like everything got shut off. And here is Weston right here. This is Weston on the far left of the photo in the front, okay, with the long blonde hair. This young man right here. So we'll see what's going on with that. Again, another ad.
I want people to know that, our family has been so grateful for the love and support. And we're just overwhelmed with that between the U.S. citizens and the Japanese citizens have been so loving and so helpful. And without their support and their contacts, we would not have been able to get as far as we have gotten with trying to find Weston. Social media has been essential for us, and the contacts that people have given us have been incredible. What I need now is for people to continue to pray for Weston and for us to find him, and for specifically today for the rain to stop because we're in the middle of a typhoon. And I need Japanese media contacts, because my biggest hurdle is getting it out to Japanese residents. It's their culture is a little different than what we have in the United States, where I can't just go put posters on the train stations because it's disrespectful to their country. And there are things that I would like to do here and I could do in the US, but I can't do in Japan. So I need Japanese media contacts, and I need for people to share my post to anybody that lives in Japan. That way that they can share it to their Japanese platforms. Because our ultimate goal is to find our son. Weston is the most loving, wonderful person, and we just want to find him.
Yeah, and getting this in front of as many Japanese eyes really is essential, because we're getting so much support from the Japanese people when they see it. So we're trying to figure out how to get in front of more of them, because they're the people walking the streets right now that can potentially see him when he walks by, because he stands out in a crowd, because he looks nothing like everyone else here with his blonde hair and his height. So he is easy to locate if you just know to look for him. So getting it in front of more and more people here so that they know to look for him is key.
I just need to focus on our needs and the fact that we are so incredibly grateful and overwhelmed by the love from family, friends, people we don't know in the U.S., and also the Japanese citizens have been so incredible and helpful. We've had people come and translate for us, spend a day with us trying to go to every police station just out of the goodness of their heart. We have people on a train 3 hours away making posters and coming to put, to share it with people getting off the train, just unsolicited. And it's been incredible. But I still need help. I need Japanese media, and I need for people of Japan to share Weston's picture and his story, because like he said, he's very distinct looking. He is almost 6'2", blonde hair, blue eyes, very fair skinned. And, he's got a cool style about his clothes. Like he's very, he has two hoop earrings in each ear. Like he's very distinct looking. So if more people know that he is missing, they can report him. I specifically want to ask for prayers for my 18-year-old son who just graduated from Spain Park, and this is his graduation present. And I would like for people to really think about him as well, because this has been traumatizing for him. Anytime a family is together for 6 days, it's, you just need a little bit of space from each other. And no, I mean, he's
a 20-year-old independent kid at this point that we just stuck in a hotel room with us on a trip for this long. There's going to be moments where
We just need space. Yeah. I mean, if anyone knows Weston, he's a vegan pacifist. He doesn't even kill mosquitoes. Like, he's the nicest child. Like, he's, very highly intelligent. He is a outdoorsy, like, music lover. But when I say outdoorsy, I'm talking an avid outdoors person. He has hiked the El Camino Santiago, like a big part of that trail, like with just a block of cheese and some water. I mean, he's an incredible athlete. He did his first half Ironman. He's a triathlete. Like, he's extremely well traveled. He's the navigator of our family. We don't ever pull out a map. Like, Weston will never pull out a map. He looks at the train stations. He can figure it out. He's just got this amazing ability to do that. So we never worried about him being in a city as a 20-year-old in one of the safest countries.
Well, that's very, very interesting and disheartening. Because obviously,
and some new developments to
and because anything is possible. He could be anywhere, right? That's a huge problem. He could literally be anywhere, which obviously is not good. But before that, Higginbotham, okay, because somebody said, what's his last name? It's Higginbotham, okay. So before that, Weston was confirmed to have made a purchase at a Conan hardware store in Kyoto area, or in the Kyoto area. Family members believe that he was traveling east from Kyoto on a local train along the Biwako line. Okay. His mother said she is concerned he may be in emotional distress. Speaking from Kyoto, Nancy and Keith Higginbotham, the parents, all right, said volunteers, social media users, and complete strangers have played a critical role in helping the family search for Weston. So we already heard that in the audio, okay? While social media has spread information across the United States about this situation, Keith believes reaching more people in Japan is imperative because they're the ones that are most likely to encounter Weston if he's moving through the actual area. Okay, and you just heard that they said he definitely would stand out in a crowd. This kid, we don't know where he is, but he is tall, blonde, blue eyes. I mean, Caucasian in Japan. Yeah, he's going to stick out like a sore thumb for sure, right? So you'd hope that there's somebody out here that's seeing him out here. In these Japanese streets. I'm hoping that's the case. Okay. But here's something else. Yeah. Well, I mean, at first that's what they said. Now, obviously this case is still developing. There's still information. There's things still happening, right? At first they said that he went missing. He went onto this hiking trail and disappeared. Now we know some more information where he was last seen, or his phone last pinged basically near a train station, and then it just turned off. Now that could mean several of different things. It could mean that he actually went there to the train and then decided to turn it off, or he lost the phone and somebody took the phone and then turned it off while they were getting on the train. You see what I'm saying? So anything's possible. But one thing is for sure, they did confirm something. There was a fight that happened. Okay, that there was some sort of like a little tiff. You even heard that in the audio, in that audio interview. They basically said, yeah, you're holed up with each other, you're near each other, you're always around each other 24/7. Of course. Things happen. It's family stuff. Families get annoyed with each other all the time. All the times. And it could be over the smallest little thing, especially if you're just on vacation, You're always spending time with each other. You just want some time alone or some time to just breathe or whatever it may be, right? So clearly something happened here that caused a huge problem. So let's get into it. So it says that apparently, he needed some time away, quote unquote, time away from the family during this Japan trip, mother says, and what we know about his final hours. Well, here's the thing, okay? So we already know that he's been missing in Japan for nearly a week right now after he disappeared from a family trip. Here's what we know, okay? So we already know about where he is. They traveled from Alabama to Japan to celebrate their 18-year-old son's high school graduation. I know somebody said, oh, they were out there to celebrate his graduation. No, they were out in Japan to celebrate the younger brother's graduation from high school. Okay. So Nancy told Fox News that the families, that the family last saw Weston in their hotel room on Friday, May 29th. She said the family decided to separate after bickering with each other. So again, he just needed some time by himself, just like we all did, the mom said. We just needed some separation. So that is something that's big. I know that people have been speculating, and apparently there's been a lot of rumor running around. You know what I mean? A lot of rumors and speculations been just going crazy in the internet. And she's basically saying like, hey, we had a moment. We all have moments, and we just needed some time away, some time apart. And that's exactly what they did, because I guess everyone was getting annoyed with each other. And I guess it was like, hey, go. Y'all just go and do the things that you want to do, because obviously you're 20 years old, you're a young man, you can handle yourself. You're 18, you can handle yourself too. Just go sightsee some things. Me and mom are going to go and do our own thing too, and we'll see you guys back here tonight. You know what I mean? Maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but that is crazy. All right. So Weston arrived at Kyoto train station on Friday around 8:15 p.m. local time. Nancy said on Facebook, this is what she said. So local police confirmed that he got off the train at the Yamashina station in Kyoto that same night. Okay. His phone lost network at 8:29 p.m., according to his mom. Okay. Then she, of course, told them that this prevented them from following him through the Life 360 app. Additionally, Nancy claimed her family repeatedly texted Weston, but the messages did not go through. So in other words, phone is off. And if you're curious, well, that doesn't help. So this is what he looks like. Just to make that abundantly clear, this is what Weston looks like. Okay, maybe he walked down the wrong street. Maybe he ran into the wrong people. You got to remember, he is a white man in Japan. I mean, I would have, you know what I mean? Like, he's definitely going to stick out like a sore thumb, So maybe he was targeted. That's possible. Or he went on a hiking trip, or and he fell. I mean, anything's possible, right? So, in a Facebook update shared on Tuesday, June 2nd, Nancy said she and her husband, Keith, Weston's dad, have been actively searching for him for Weston all over the place. However, she claimed a typhoon that swept through the region has hampered their efforts to search for their missing son. So on the 3rd, which was yesterday, Nancy said in another Facebook update that 50 police officers, canines, and helicopters were deployed to search a heavy wooded area near Weston's last location in Yamashima. Later that day, she said in another Facebook post that her son still had not been found. The search resumed today, okay? But after another day of searching, his mom, said her son has still not been found, okay? She also says that he has never disappeared like this before. We stay very well connected. This is what Keith said, adding that family members know where each other are, quote unquote, at all times. I got a video here that I want to play for you guys too. Again, this is really crazy. It's scary if you really think about it. I mean, as much as we all, have our speculations and our theories and whatnot, I mean, we do. One thing is for sure. It is an absolutely terrifying thought that you could go to, the idea of having your loved ones, you're going out on a vacation, a new area, a foreign land, you don't know anyone or anything, and you just plop yourself in the middle of it, thinking that it's going to be a fun family vacation, only for one to maybe take the wrong turn or take the wrong train. Again, this is also at night when his phone pinged at 8:15, getting on a train. Could he have gone on the wrong train? You know what I'm saying? Meaning like he went on a train, running into the wrong type of people. It's anything's possible, right? But let us see what's going on here. What? I thought this was working. Hold on. Let's try that one.
All right, we turn now to the desperate search for an American college student missing in Japan while on vacation with his family. The 20-year-old was last seen on May 29th when it appears he boarded a train alone. Anna Corrin has more, including what his parents are saying.
Rescue teams scoured the hills near Kyoto, Japan, by air and by foot, searching for missing Auburn University student James Weston Higginbotham.
He's just an amazing, amazing kid.
His parents, Nancy and Keith, say the 20-year-old college junior was last seen wearing his Save the Bees t-shirt and lavender pants. After lunch with his family on May 29th, Higginbotham decided to stay back while his parents and brother visited a nearby temple. Around 6:30 that night, his parents saw his location move and texted him for updates.
He didn't answer, and we're like, this is very strange, because he's, we can see him traveling, most likely on a train. And then he continues not to answer us, and then it just goes completely dark, like locations turned off and everything.
His parents say CCTV footage captured Higginbotham leaving the Yamashina train station that evening. They say their son is an avid hiker, and he was likely going to trek a nearby trail.
He has survival skills, and I don't want anyone to doubt that if he is lost in the woods, he is still alive.
Growing up, he was always just there for me.
Ryan Mussolino has been friends with Higginbotham since second grade.
I knew every time I was going over to Weston's, we were doing something in his backyard. He just loves the outdoors, has always loved the outdoors.
The family was supposed to fly back to Alabama today, but as the search enters day 6, they say they'll stay in Japan until he's found.
Okay, so something about this tells me that someone probably stole his phone. That's what that's the vibe I'm getting. Somebody probably stole his phone, so he might have been a target of something. Or, they found the phone on the floor, on the ground. And they said, F it. Great. Let me take the phone, and may not even know who this person is. Whose phone this belongs to. You see what I'm saying? But, like I said, very interesting situation here.
We had to call Delta and explain the situation. They're like, is it for 4? And I'm like,
not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Now, canine dog units have been brought in to help with the search, but this search has been hampered by bad weather. There's been a major storm system that moved through the region in recent days, but come first light Friday morning, dozens of police and rescue crews will be out there, hopefully searching for James and finding him safe and sound. Nate.
I mean, we'll see. I'm hoping that they do find this kid. But yeah, so far, not so good. We got an interview on Fox News with the parents. So let's take a look at this here.
An Alabama family pleading for the return of their son, Weston Higginbotham, who vanished on a trip to Japan with his family to celebrate his younger brother's high school graduation. The Auburn University student last seen on May 29th after traveling to Kyoto. His family believes he may have been hiking and exploring trails in the area. Joining me now from Japan, his parents, Nancy and Keith Higginbotham. Nancy and Keith, as a parent, I obviously cannot imagine the pain, the worry, the angst that you're going through. Nancy, when was the last time you saw your son?
It was on May 29th at the hotel room.
Did he
in
say
Kyoto.
Did he say anything, Nancy, about his plans to you, give you any indication as to what he was going to be doing?
No, I mean, we decided to separate. We had been, kind of bickering with each other, and we decided, you go do your thing, we go do our thing. I mean, he's 20 years old. He's extremely well traveled. He's a wonderful navigator. And so we went to the temples, and then he went by the river. Well, we could follow him on Life 360, and he's by the river, and he goes to a couple stores, and then he gets on a train and his location goes dark. It goes completely dark. So we can't follow him, and we're texting him, and we're seeing that our texts aren't going through. We're trying to follow him on Life 360. It's completely dark.
Nancy, 2 follow-ups to what you just said. 1, you said he was by a river. Can he swim?
Oh, he's a triathlete. He just completed his first half Ironman.
Sure.
Yeah.
Then he can swim. But to your earlier thing, you said you were bickering, and at the risk of getting way too personal here, was this a normal bickering that, as a 20-year-old, I had with my parents on vacation? I wanted to do my thing, or was there something else to it?
Yeah. No. I mean, when you're in a hotel room for the past 6 days in twin beds that are this big, about 4 inches from each other, you're going to just, right.
I mean, it sounds like to me family just being family. People get annoyed with each other. It's a normal thing. I know everybody. I know, isn't it funny? Like, everybody will sit there and go, oh, how dare they do that to that kid and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yo, he went, like, they decided to separate. It's not a bad thing. Families do that kind of crap all the time. Families bicker all the time. It's family. It's just normal. It just is what it is. You can't sit there and go, for those who sit there and go like, are passing judgment on this family. What's that whole, glass houses phrase? You get what I'm saying. Glass houses. All right. Every family bickers. It doesn't mean toxicity. It doesn't mean anything bad. Families just bicker. It just is what it is. Okay. And maybe, like she was saying, you got 4 beds. We're all living on top of each other. We're all in each other's face and all that. No privacy whatsoever. Yeah, people are going to get annoyed with each other. It's just a normal thing. So I could see them going, like I just said a second ago, hey, you a grown-ass man. You 20 now, son. Go ahead. Kids, go. Disperse. Go see the world. Go see Japan. Go enjoy yourself. And we'll come back and we'll have dinner together or whatever. It's totally normal. But to me right now, it still feels like somebody, and it's wild that he's a triathlon, or triathlete, I'm sorry. Like, it sounds like he's like the perfect kid. So it makes you wonder, why did things go the way they went down? Did he really just run away? Did he, or was he taken? Or did something else happen? He slipped and fell. Something bumped his head. God only knows, right? God only knows. But it's wild that you're in a different country during this whole thing. This is kind of screaming other cases that we've done in the past, except it's not in America. It's just in a different country. So this is some scary stuff, but let's let them finish saying what they're saying.
Keith, you have said your son loved hiking. Did he say he was traveling to Kyoto at any point during this trip for the specific purpose of hiking?
No, but, wherever we're at, if there's a trail, he's interested in it. So And there's a lot of wonderful trails around here, so it doesn't surprise me at all.
Hey, Keith, your wife mentioned that his phone location turned off. In your experience with him, was it normal for him to turn off his phone location, or is that just one of those things that he always kept on his phone? Did he shut it off to save battery?
No.
Like, why would it be off?
No, I think it's totally out of character for him to shut it off and leave it off. I believe he probably turned it off because maybe we were sending him too many messages asking him what he was doing and where's he at when he left, and he just wanted some time alone. Turned it off, but it's not something he normally does, and he definitely won't leave it off for extended periods of time because we're just too close of a family to do that.
Nancy, we're going to put up some pictures of what he was last wearing. Can you describe what we're seeing in these pictures, what he was wearing the last time you saw him and the last time we have these pictures?
Oh, sure. So he's wearing a white T-shirt. On the back it says "Save the Bees," and then his pants are just lavender corduroy pants with a larger cuff at the bottom. He has 2 silver hoop earrings, and he was wearing some beat-up Adidas.
Okay. And Nancy, you wrote in another media publication that he may have been, and I'm using your words here, emotionally distressed. What do you mean by that?
Well, I just meant he just needed time by himself, just like we all did. We just needed some separation. And so his happy place is going on a trail or just going on a hike. And so we just all needed just a little bit of, time away. It's not an abnormal thing to want time.
Sure.
When you're 20, you're an adult. You can do that.
And Keith, there's obviously a distinction between wanting a little time, wanting a little space, and going missing. Has he ever gone missing for an extended period like this?
Oh, no.
Never.
We stay very well connected, know where each other are in the family at all times, really. He's an Auburn student, and even at Auburn, we know where he's at and what he's doing when he's not home. And, because we share that with each other.
Have you received any information, any leads from Japanese authorities, Keith?
The authorities here, the Japanese police have been fantastic. They work a little different than in the U.S., and the investigations they keep very close, so they don't provide a whole lot of information. They do their thing and take care of what they need to.
Yeah. And the embassy, typically calls us every night and debriefs us, as well as the FBI, which everybody has been so wonderful. Today, they deployed another 50 police officers. And I was told that, they had mud up to their chest and looking for Weston, and they had the K9 dogs and they had the helicopters today. And unfortunately, we didn't get the news that we wanted to get, that they found him, but they are still searching for him.
Obviously, your goal is to get this information on American media. Have you been able to get his picture, his story circulated on Japanese media?
I have. So I have several, it's on several other local networks as well as major Japanese networks. Today was a very fruitful day for the media in Japan, and I'm very grateful. I call it a win, I guess.
Okay. What do you want the world, the country, Japan, to know about your son?
My son is the most sweet person you could ever meet. He's a vegan. He would kill a mosquito. He's amazing. He's an avid hiker. He's hiked the El Camino Santiago. He's hiked the Pyrenees Mountains. He's hiked Acadia. He is built to endure, 6 days of being out in the wilderness. The water is very fresh here. He has plenty of water to drink, and he knows how to forage. He can survive. He is out there, and we are going to find him.
Nancy and Keith Higginbotham, our prayers are with you. Our prayers are with your son, Weston, and we pray that he...
Yeah, I'm like I said, he's still a young kid. I absolutely agree. This is just this is tough because they're in a foreign land. I'm sure they don't know this land that well. Okay. They're out there on vacation, but here's the other thing too. I'd want to know. Have they checked his text messages? Hear me out. You know how life is with technology. Sometimes as much as you're trying to avoid life, And you're going like, okay, I got nothing. I got no problems. I'm in another country. No one can bother me. Everything's all Gucci. Everything's going to be all right. And then suddenly, ding, ding, you get a text that ruins your entire life. Like, I would instantly start asking, like, did something happen? He said he wanted some time away. He wanted to get some space. Was there anything else that could have sparked that desire to have some space? Could it be a girl? Could it be a friend situation? Could it be something that happened that is going on in his phone? Because he's got a whole other world in his phone. Remember that too. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that he went off and he did, something unthinkable, but maybe he did. Like I said, he wanted some time away. They gave it to him. They gave it to all the kids. So again, it makes you wonder what could have happened. What did he see? What did he receive? Is any of that being sent to him via phone? And if that is the case, yeah, I could see, him reacting in a way that could be not good, for lack of a better term. So again, something is weird with this. Something is odd about this. And we'll find out more of what's going on here, hopefully very, very soon. But they are still searching for that kid. They have not found that kid at all. And he sounds like a stand-up kid. Sounds like an amazing kid. The way the mom is breaking it down about him. You got he's a vegan, he's a triathlete, he's stylish, he's an intelligent kid, he's a expert hiker. So again, what's up? What's really going on here? Is there a history of mental health? That's something I think is important to know as well. Is there a history of mental health within this young man? Hopefully we find out some more information here very, very soon. I hope. But we have got to get into the moment that a lot of y'all have been waiting for. It's time to talk about D4vd's. Yes, that piece of trash. Yes, we're back in that conversation again. In fact, we are a little ways away. We're still several days away, but we are in the month where he is supposed to be seeing the inside of a courthouse or a courtroom again, 2 different times. If I'm correct, sometime in the May 12th time, and then another time, or not May 12th, June 12th time, and then another time in late June. June 29th is when he's allegedly supposed to have his preliminary hearing, okay? And that all depends on if his team has gotten their ish together. Let's just see if they actually got their ish together. But here's something that's interesting. Remember how D4vd's found out, like we all found out, that prosecution had a treasure trove of disgusting content on his phone? Remember that whole situation? Remember that? Yeah. So, according to Nancy Grace, according to her, she's going to be talking to us about the stuff that was found on the phone, which is really, really bad. So, we have got to get into this conversation. This is crazy, but this is Nancy Grace, y'all. So, hold on to your butts, because we need to talk about all of this. This is crazy. Welcome to Crime Stories. Nancy Grace, the queen of true crime. Let's take a listen. This is insane.
Who met David Anthony Burke when she was age 14. It's when he began pursuing her. She was still wearing Hello Kitty outfits. The bestie comes forward and says Celeste was pregnant. Dave Mack joining us, Crime Stories.
Yo, wait a second. What? Wait a second. Hold on. I got to roll that back just a tiny bit because we kind of jumped in like right in the middle of that, and that ain't right. Okay, especially for our friend Auntie Nancy. All right, let's try that again, because she just said what? Say what? Say what? Word? CrimeCon. I don't know. Maybe not. Depends on when it lands. It's in September? Oh, it's happening that soon? CrimeCon is happening in September. That's fast, y'all. Wait, September of this year? Because that's really fast, y'all. Didn't they just do CrimeCon like 5 seconds ago? CrimeCon in the fall again? Damn, how are they doing that so damn fast? Who got the money to do that? Oh, it's in 2027. I was about to say, damn, because those tickets are expensive. Très cher. Chérie. They are so expensive. One ticket, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. They ain't cheap. Have mercy. Okay. 2027, because I was about to say, that is insane. Fall of 2027. I don't know. Maybe. We maybe, but maybe not. I can't make any promises. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing like next week. You see what I'm saying? So I can't really say like, oh yeah, I'm going. Nah, I don't know yet. But if I do, I'll let you guys know. All right. Yeah, I'm just saying CrimeCon just happened 7 seconds ago. It's like, damn, they're doing it that fast? Mother love it, that's fast. Okay. And yeah, they're already doing one in London. In London. You know what I mean? Tea and crumpets, love. So, consider yourself. So yeah. So they're popping all over the place with this thing. I know crime be criming, but damn. Okay. But let's get into this. Nancy Grace. Auntie Nancy. Your true crime auntie. How's that? Or she the true crime aunt. We do need a true crime auntie. Who that be though? That's what I'd like to know. Who the true crime auntie? You got to, there's a few true crime uncles, but there ain't no true crime unks. You see what I'm saying? So where they at? Where's the auntie at? Let's continue. Nancy Grace.
The charges against David Anthony Burke in connection with the brutal and horrific murder of Celeste.
According to one of Celeste Rivas, who met David Anthony Burke, she was age 14. That's when he began pursuing her. She was still wearing Hello Kitty outfits. The bestie comes forward and says Celeste was pregnant. Dave Mack joining us, Crime Stories investigative reporter. What do we know?
Nancy, you remember just the other day, the autopsy or death certificate was updated on Celeste Rivas with regard to being pregnant, where at first it was not pregnant, they changed to not known. Well, now we find out her best friend sits down with Celeste Rivas in January, 12 weeks before she is murdered. And at her parents' home, Celeste Rivas is talking to her friend about running away because she's pregnant. And the friend says she's trying not to be judgy. She's talking to her, and the friend says, well, what do you mean run away? See, the friend thought that when Celeste said she was pregnant and she was going to run away from home to be with David, the friend thought it was just some, kid from school, somebody in the neighborhood. She didn't know that Celeste Rivas was saying she was pregnant with David Anthony Burke's child. That's not what the friend knew. It was only after the fact, after Celeste was dead, that she realized what Celeste Rivas was telling her at that night in January of 2025, 12 weeks before she was murdered.
Yo. So, okay, let me just say this. We've already been savvy on the whole point of her actually being with child. Okay, we've already known about that. We've talked about it. In fact, the coroner report, the autopsy report, they changed that to unknown because there was still a lot of questions revolving around that and everything. Okay, so let me just be real. We've been known about her possibly being with child, but now we're hearing more information from a friend. And we already did a video where, somebody called in a person that was claiming to be a friend of Celeste's. saying, yeah, she told me that she was with child. Now we're hearing it from people, sources from Nancy Grace reporting this too. So now she was saying she was going to run away solely because she was with child. So then what happened with the baby? You see what I'm saying? What happened with the child? Yeah, and he was wrapping up a fake finger, Mel, just so you know. It was like a Japanime finger that he bought online. It wasn't a real finger. But but like I said, this is very strange, this whole D4vd Celeste Rivas situation. Was she still with child when he attacked her? Because if she said, I'm going to run away solely because she's with child, that would mean that she still had a bun in the oven, unless she found a way. Yeah, unless she had found a way to get rid of the bun in the oven. I don't know, but something really weird is going on here, and they need to break that down soon.
Following up on what Dave Mack just said, I want to show you a screenshot we also found, purportedly from Celeste to Burke. D, things are getting heavy. I'm really scared about everything. They're starting to ask questions. Call me when you see this.
Word.
I need you.
Whoa, wait a second. Whoa. So she wrote this to David. Hold on. Let's get that right.
D, things.
D. So she wrote this to D4vd. Okay? Things are getting so heavy. I'm really scared about everything. They are starting to ask questions. Call me when you see this. I need you. Now, that could be okay that she is with child, but it also could mean that maybe they're getting savvy to the fact that she's in a relationship with somebody she shouldn't be in a relationship. You see what I'm saying? But that is
getting heavy.
That is very interesting.
I'm really scared about everything. They're starting to ask questions. Call me when you see this. I need you. Dr. Bethany Marshall, how does this text purportedly from Celeste fit into the theory that she was pregnant or had been pregnant?
Well, Nancy, what I see is a little girl who imagines she has a true relationship with a much older man, who imagines that they have a future together and potentially is thinking about keeping the baby to solidify her relationship with him and their love together. And so I imagine what is going on in her mind as a 14-year-old, as opposed to all these older kids, they're all kids, after the fact, laughing about her death, dancing on her grave, bringing out a casket at a funeral that day or the very next day after she is killed, and the disjuncture between what she thinks is going on and what they know is going on, that she is going to be gotten rid of. She needs him. He needs to have her gone. Women who are pregnant are at a much higher risk of homicide, Nancy. You and I know that. And in some sick, twisted way, this is a 20-year-old man who's not going to let anything stand between him and his career, in his own mind. Of course, now he has killed his whole career, but he doesn't want to let anything stand between him and his career, nor do all the other hangers-on in that household who are laughing about this. They are just going to carry on with their circus of filth, and Celeste be damned.
Okay, so let me ask you guys something. Do you think that, and I already have a feeling that a lot of y'all are going to be saying like, yes, but do you guys think that the friends that are around him were enabling him, were like knew about all this stuff and just allowed this stuff to happen to the point where they knew that he unalived Celeste and just let it be? I'm going to ask you guys that. Do you believe that? In fact, I might put that in a poll. I haven't done a poll in a while. That sounded weird. Pause. But I haven't put up a poll. That sounds weird too. But F it. I haven't put up a poll in a while. Those blue pills don't work anymore. But no, I haven't done a poll in a while. I might put that in a poll. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay? Let me just do that really quick because I want to know. Y'all think that they knew, the friends, and they just allowed this to happen? Or do you think they had no clue? They really had no clue. Just questions.
I want you to listen to a clearer video. Now, of course, Colesridge is going to tell you this is all AI, but I'll let the viewer judge for themselves.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one. Bye.
Y'all, if anyone thinks that this is AI, stop. This is not AI. Okay. Let me just say that really quick. This is not AI, but let's continue.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my. Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Dave Mack, I think we've identified the motive.
Celeste comes forward to her best.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Okay, Lady Lou. Okay, the fact that the date is in 2023, the timing is way off. So, I don't know. Like, I don't know where they got this. Where the hell did they get this, right? Where did Nancy Grace and her people get that information, this text message? It is very interesting, right? So wild, if you ask me. But yeah, November 23rd, yeah, it wouldn't make any sense, right? Then that, so she either, terminated or miscarried. It's the only other choices we got, right? Those are the only two choices that we got. But let's continue on. I'm going to roll this back a little bit.
Friend.
Okay.
Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything goes.
Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter. Dave Mack, I think we've identified the motive.
Celeste comes forward to her best friend and says, I think I'm pregnant and I'm going to run away from my family and go to be with David. And again, the friend didn't even think about David Burke. She was just thinking it was a classmate of theirs, which is just boggling the mind because we know that she had her fill. She seemed to be the more mature in the relationship. And she was coming forward to say, hey, man, you're not getting away with this. I'm going to tell everybody who you really are.
And whether or not she was pregnant at the time, Dave Mack, the fact is that sources indicate she was threatening to go public with their relationship. You mentioned she was 14. She was 11 when he began pursuing her. 11 years old. And we know they took, or we believe they took, trips overseas. If she had been pregnant, did she have an abortion there? Why did he keep taking her out of town? There are so many questions. Joe Scott Morgan, death investigator, the reality is, due to the state of her decomposition after her body had been disarticulated, rendered, could you tell if she had had an abortion?
No, I think that would be very difficult. But let's also keep in mind, Nancy, that there's been mention of morning after pills as well. So I don't know if this was a reoccurrent theme with them. And this is kind of a ghastly road to go down when you begin to think about what she had been subjected to through repeatedly being, because you've already got access to morning after tablets. And if this is something that she's being forced to take, for instance, and it paints a very grim picture. And yeah, of course.
Is D4vd, the multimillionaire musician, caught on camera wrapping up a human finger? That is from the D4vd tour video. Okay, let me get the dates.
So it's a thing that he bought. Okay, he bought it online. It's a fake finger, just so you guys know. But that's old news, right? That's old news at this point. But let's continue.
Right. Joining me, Susan Hendricks, investigative reporter, journalist, author of a bestseller, Down the Hill, My Descent into the Double Murder in Delphi. Susan Hendricks, he was going on tour, remember? Mm-hmm. Celeste was murdered just before his Withered tour. He was getting ready for the tour, and he was putting out all types of promotional videos. She was murdered just before he dropped the album and went on the tour. And after intense public outcry after Celeste's body is found in his Tesla. Let's just refresh everyone's recollection and show the Tesla in the impound parking lot where it smelled so badly. They opened the trunk and found the dead body. Why, Susan Hendricks, is he wrapping what appears to be a human finger?
I think everything with this guy is symbolic. He's shoving it in our faces. So let's say it's a human finger or a plastic finger. I think he knows what he's doing. Because, as you know, Celeste's fingers were not found when her body was discovered, 2 of her fingers. So I think he was enabled. He did what he wanted to do. We had merch that had blood all over, white shirts. He pulled that once cops started searching his house months later. But I think he did what he wanted to do, and he had the support of an entourage.
Guys, you're seeing video from D4vd's tour on TikTok. Is this part of the...
Hold on real quick. I see this super chat. I know the mods just kind of deleted this and everything, but here's the thing. There is no, like, Timu just put this up. Yeah, I don't have the Frisco ISD footage. So what narrative am I spewing? You know, when it comes to this Karmelo Anthony case, what narrative am I spewing? I'm not spewing any narrative. So, and if there was the footage that was leaked, if that footage was to come out, I'd show it right now. So has anybody found it? Because I'd show it. Because I ain't got no narrative to stand by. I got the narrative of I just want him to be, I want him to put out. I just want him to have his his day in court. And I want to find out if he has been I want to find out if he did this out of malice or if this was self-defense. So, yeah. See, some people have their own narrative, and some people just need to chill the F out. Or some people just hop onto the show and they see the title and they just automatically assume something. Right? So, yeah. Got it wrong. But if the footage is out, I'll look for it. And I'll play it here. I don't care. Okay? But I have yet to hear anything about footage being leaked. That would be wild. All right? But moving on, let's get back into this. All right? Everybody, all nothing but love to all y'all. Let's continue.
Emotional video he's pushing out there that looks to be in his home where we believe, isn't this right, Dave Mack, Crime Stories investigative reporter? According to the court documents, prosecutors are saying Celeste was killed in that home where we believe that finger wrapping video was recorded. He's like, what, a few feet away from where she was murdered and disarticulated?
As disgusting as it sounds, absolutely right, Nancy. April 23rd, 10 o'clock at night, just after. That's when investigators say D4vd killed Celeste Rivas, right after she arrived at his home.
Randolph Rice joining us, high-profile lawyer out of Baltimore, former prosecutor, now veteran criminal defense and civil lawyer at Rice, Murtha, and Soros. Randolph Rice, first of all, it's not time for the jury trial. Dave Mack had it right. He wants to glow up. He wants to glam squad. His team, I guarantee you his lawyers didn't know this was happening, demand a new hairstyle and fresh clothes, designer clothes, for his appearance. There's not a jury. It's a preliminary hearing. H-E-double-L. Let me clarify. H-E-L-L. Hell no. Why is he not getting his designer threads?
Well, he's not getting his designer threads because, just as you said, Nancy, the judge does not care about how he looks because there's no jury there. But I will say, from a defense standpoint and from his standpoint and his team standpoint, this might be one of the first smart moves they are making here because not only is this case going to be tried in the courtroom, but I think this case is going to be tried in the public. And remember, down the road, as his defense attorneys are going to have to pick a jury, it may help to have a good light on him moving forward.
Put him up. A good light. What? You know, and I know you know, I know your career very well. He is not entitled to street clothes, as we call them, unless there's a jury. No. Didn't you see Brian Kohberger asking for the same thing? No, was the answer. N-O. D4vd's not getting it either, but that didn't stop his team from trying, did it?
It didn't. And as my mother always said, if you don't ask, you don't get. So why not ask? It doesn't hurt. Look, the defense team and his team are going to ask every single question, every single thing that they can try to get over on the state. And I would do the same thing. They need to try to take advantage of every single opportunity, every single appearance. He needs to come out there looking the best he possibly can to have that favorable light on him as he moves forward with this trial.
Favorable light. Instead of getting a glow up with his glam squad behind bars, he should probably be worried about the evidence, such as putting out a video of him wrapping up what appears to be a human finger. Of course, it's not a human finger. Well, I hope it's not a human finger. I don't think it's a human finger. I think it's a toy or a replica.
Yeah,
but
it's a toy.
That said, he's putting out the bad vibes. That's him. Yeah. Oh, thank you. There he is again. That's him wrapping up what appears to be a withered human finger, but is likely a toy replica. The point is, he is shooting himself in the foot. And another thing, while I've got you, Randolph Rice, he's not asking for his regular clothes. Let's see some photos of what D4vd usually wears. He's not asking for that. No. He wants designer clothes. He wants, oh yeah, that is not how he wants to appear in court. He wants to wear a pair of dress slacks and a button down. Right? I've never seen him in a button down. He wants to present a false facade to spectators. What about it, Randolph? Busted.
Genius. I think it's a good move on his defense part and his team's part. And let me just say one thing about this finger. Everybody's talking about this. This is something that's going to hurt his case. I can tell you, his attorneys, and if I was attorney too, I would be going to the mat, filing a motion in limine, which, did you know, Nancy, is just a motion to exclude evidence. That video never sees the light of day in a courtroom because it is irrelevant. Unless the prosecutors can prove that that has something to do with Celeste, with the victim in this case, it is not coming into court.
Yikes. Okay. So first off, let me just say this. I mean, everybody wears a button down and slacks in court. Yes, to try to, and a lot of them do it to try to come off like, okay, they're civilians. You're not looking at them as a criminal because of them wearing their jumpsuit, right? So again, there's that. The finger wrapping of the finger. I mean, it is just the dumbest thing. Like, obviously this is somebody who he's a dumb guy. We already know that, right? And yeah, Mr. Chill, I don't know why he would have a fake finger. I really don't know why he would have a fake finger. What's the purpose of that, right? He's a dumb individual. I think we can all agree on that. This guy's dumb. He also, remember, he's been putting all kinds of things, breadcrumbs and all that into his music and into his art. It's almost as if he said, please catch me. Please, please, please catch me. He's not an okay guy. This is somebody who is not right in the head. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. All right. This is not somebody who is okay in the head, in my personal opinion. Okay. But I want to play a little bit of this. Hold on. Where the heck is it? Is it there? Some more Karmelo Anthony stuff we need to talk about here. Hold on, because I'm trying to pull something up, but I want to play this just to give me a little bit of time to do this. Hold on real quick. Come on.
Generally looks the same as it did before lunch, where it was very grainy, except now the important parties are highlighted as they move, meaning Karmelo Anthony as he moves and Austin Metcalf as he moves. So important evidence, but how effective is it if it's that grainy? Let's bring back in Al Wunsch, the third criminal defense attorney and podcast host of the Tangent podcast. Al, what do you think about the prosecution starting their case this way? In their opening statements, they told this jury, you will see video of this incident, that it's going to help you, that we're walking you through what happened that day. If it's this grainy, do you think that is problematic for how they are beginning their case?
No, because I think that you play the game with the cards you're dealt with. I mean, obviously they would love to have something that was in Technicolor and beautifully screened and everything else, but you don't have that, so you make do with what you have, and you put that out first. Because I generally, when I was a prosecutor, wanted the warts out before I started getting into the good parts of the case. So this way here, no one was saying, well, wait a minute, he was hiding that from us. So show the video that's grainy, show the video with regards to the enhancement that they've done. And it goes to the jury's going to put the weight on it that they want to put on it. The bottom line is that, it's going to demonstrate how difficult this self-defense aspect of the case is going to be to prove by the defense. That they can throw that out there, but it's a tent. It's a tent that, unfortunately, Karmelo should not have been in. By going in, it was a provocative act on his part. He knew, based on the fact that these guys were, rivals, athletic rivals and everything else, that when someone from a school you're playing goes into your tent or goes in and sits there, okay, it's a dare. It's a provocative situation. As I said before, I mean, I played football in college. I played football in high school, and in high school it was a lot more passion involved, and so if somebody from the rival school, Bergen Catholic, stepped into my tent where I was sitting there with the rest of my players, we're going to say something, and you go in there knowing you're provoking a situation. So to claim self-defense is not going to make any sense. Plus the fact he could have gotten out of the tent in no time. It's not like he's cornered in a area in an alleyway where there was nowhere for him to go except straight ahead and after this kid that's in front of him.
Duty to retreat might play a big role here, for sure. I want to bring up something that you just mentioned, because Cody just put in the notes that he's sending out to us that the witness on the stand, the forensic examiner, is specifying where the two individuals are. So these are witnesses, eyewitnesses who were there. They're pointing at Karmelo Anthony as he runs away from the tent following the stabbing. So even though the stabbing itself it seems very unclear and it's hard to see in that video, what seems to be the most clear is him leaving. His defense team says that he left and went to a coach because he wanted to essentially turn himself in, or said, I'm the one who did it. It's not alleged, is what he told the officer afterward. But that running away is going to be big here.
Well, the running away is also essential because it means he could have gotten away. It means he didn't have to stay there. I mean, if his argument is that I was in danger because there was all these guys there and they were going to do something to me, he's able to get out and he's able to run from the scene. So why couldn't he have run 5 minutes earlier if he was that scared? Why was he in there in the first place? That's another question. So, I mean, everything here is stemming from the fact that, look, I hate this case because I hate seeing two young people's lives destroyed the way this has happened. Okay, but for them to be yelling self-defense, I find that to be a real problem. And, I guess if you keep saying something many, many times, then maybe you think someone's going to believe it. But it's not self-defense in this case.
Well, I mean, I guess we're going to see when how his team presents it, right? It all depends on how his team presents it, right? But I do want to show you guys, okay? Yeah, there's already chaos going on out here in these streets outside of the courthouse. So let me show you exactly what I mean.
Shit. Whatever you talk about the motherfucking lie, and you motherfucking know it. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you talk about the motherfucking lie, and you know it. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Chimp it out, man. Low impulse control. This is the reason why Austin Metcalf is dead. Because this is a response that is told. This is a response they teach their young people to have. This is a response that the mothers of...
Did I not say that people were going to be coming out starting opening statements? Did I not say that? And look how much it has multiplied. Okay? More and more people are showing up. More and more divide is going on in the streets. You got people of the likes of Jake Lang, that piece of trash, okay, instigating and starting ish out there as well. And the trial has just started. You understand that, right? This trial just started. Yes, it is stupid. This whole thing is messed up. This whole thing is messed up. We need peace. We need to let them do their thing inside that courthouse and have them make a decision. But right now, why can't it just be peaceful? Keep the peace outside. Make it known what side you're on. That's your right. But we don't need all of these altercations and all that. This is only going to get worse, guys. I'm telling you right now, this is only going to get worse. Straight garbage juice. Oh, that's a good phrase right there, Trey. Come on now, Trey. I say dog water and garbage water. Okay, but garbage juice, that's a good one. I'm I'm taking that. Okay. I'm not saying that I penned the idea. Okay, Trey. But yeah, it's garbage juice. It's garbage juice for real. Okay.
Black brothers in this community does not teach its people to respect personal boundaries. It does not teach people to talk with respect. And that's why Austin Metcalf said, because in your...
Who's paying this dude? Who's paying this dude? Hog water. Yeah. Who's paying this dude? I just want to know, how is he able to fund his life doing what he's doing? He garbage juice, okay? He's dog water, he's hog water, he's garbage juice, he's everything and then some, this guy. You know what I mean? And if you're going, why don't you like him, man? Then I don't know why you're watching this show. Okay? Because this guy is absolute trash. I don't even know how he has a job. Like, is he really just scraping? Is he really raking in the dough like that, y'all? Is he swimming deep in money? He just Scrooge McDuck in here, just diving into a pool of racist money? Like, how does he even have a, you know what I'm saying? These are the kind of people that need to be put into a loony bin. Because clearly, if you think that these are the things that you think in your mind, you ain't right in the head. I'm sorry, you just ain't right in the head. Like I said before, all this energy that this man has put out into the world and how he's been sleepless nights of being like, you know, the white man must rise again kind of thing. How he's focused on that so much. He could have been a doctor with all that energy. He could have actually run this country. You know what I'm saying? He could be a billionaire right now with all of that energy if that energy was funneled into something that actually mattered. You know what I'm saying? This is not somebody who's well in the head. And he's outside starting this ish. Here we go. Yeah. Of all the Chuds and Chud the Builders and Jake Langs of the world. Yikes.
Failure as black parents. Failures as black parents. Failures. Failures as black parents. Teaching the youth to kill. You're failures in your community. Look at that boy. Look at that boy. Me and you, mutual combat. Me and you, mutual combat. What's up?
Now you got me mutual combat.
Yeah, that's actually happening right now, or has been happening lately. I'm just trying to show you guys the craziness that's going on out here in these streets, okay? Here's another one that's really short, but again, you know, supporters are outside. Karmelo Anthony supporters are outside, and we're having to see all this crap. Let me just say this. Let me correct myself. Karmelo Anthony supporters are out here, and Austin Metcalf supporters are out here as well. Let me repeat this again.
Crackers and dead crackers. Only good crackers and dead crackers.
Okay, we don't perpetuate. We don't condone those words. Okay, guys. All right. We know we are not for that. Okay, but there's more. Skipping around some of the stuff, but I mean, this is all about this is a racially charged case. Oh my dear God, it is a racially charged case, guys. Can't we all just get along, man? Damn.
He was not an aggressor. Karmelo was not an aggressor. He was minding his damn business when the boys came up to him.
We the crowd. We the creed. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd.
They silenced Karmelo and his family.
Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We the creed. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We the creed. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We the creed. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We the creed. Karmelo Anthony will walk free. We the crowd. We the creed. Karmelo Anthony will walk free.
Yeah, guys. I mean, this case shouldn't be about race, but it is. Shouldn't be about race, but it is. And you got all kinds of stuff going on. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't know what this guy's going to say, okay? Because I don't condone the stuff that white people are saying to black people. I'm not condoning what black people are saying to white people, okay? I'm just going to say that real quick, okay? I don't know what's about to be said, but there are Confederate flags on the other side of this road. I know that, okay? Or at least that's what it looked like from what I just saw a second ago. But take a listen.
I'm gonna push you if I get close enough. Push you right into that crash. You heard what I said, cracker. Neanderthal, I don't give a fuck what you say. Fuck you, cracker. Fuck you, cracker. Fuck you.
We gotta get out of the road. Let's get out of the road. Oh, that guy looks familiar. Hold on. I remember this guy right there. This guy right here. Remember when Jake Lang did a whole like protect white people, protect white America or whatever, white Americans or whatever the hell that rally was, and he had his black friend and they were standing on top of the MAGA wrapped bus and all that. He was one of the guys at that event. That guy was at that event. Like I said, it's sad. This is very, very sad. Is he in a wheelchair? Okay, but anyway, all I'm saying is you got a guy, and then you got this other guy with looking like a Bible salesman, looking like he could be balancing your checkbook. Okay, standing next to him holding his flag. And he looks real happy right now. He's just smiling. What's going on here, guys? But that guy that was there at the rally, he was one of the 6 that were at this rally, by the way. He had the same signs. He was sitting there, most likely wearing the same clothes, talking about his diabetes. And his gout flare-ups. Talking about, I just can't wait till the time we get back to Little House on the Prairie times. Yeah. He's scooting around with the only way he's able to move around is by scooting around with his good leg. You don't even use the hands no more. They're getting tired. He moves around with one leg, one good leg. That's how he scoots around. Scooting around with one leg. All around in his wheelchair. Okay? That's what he's doing. My little foot. Yeah, my left foot. You know what I'm saying? Actually, he's like, damn it, I'm going to make sure this right foot works. Damn this left. Get it? But moving on, this is, he was there before. He was at that rally, sitting all by himself with his good leg. And it's the same flyers around him like a fortress. By the way, like, what if this dude over here, okay, this dude right here, okay, if that dude just walks across, he can walk across the street. What is this dude? What is this dude here gonna do? Is he gonna try to scoot away real fast just with his one leg? Just you know what I mean? Oh hell no! Get back now! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! You know what I mean? Take my little hand, it's stronger. So yeah, like ain't that crazy? Like he went out of his way. Do you understand? He scooted himself with his foot all the way from his home to this courthouse with those flyers and those flags. How did he get from one place to the other? Did he scoot on one leg all the way to this, all the way by his lonesome on the road? Did he drive? How did he get? He around here with these signs, man. It better be motorized, because I'm just curious. Like, the energy of racists is unbelievable. Real talk, of all kinds. But they go out of their way to be like, I must be here. I gotta be here. Yeah, he teleported by the power of racism, like He-Man or something, you know, by the power of racism. He was able to scoot his ass all the way there. He probably started scooting like at the top of this week. You feel me? It's a long way from where he lives. From that little double wide that he lives in. I'm just saying, sorry. Racists deserve to be roasted. Sorry. Not sorry. Moving on, though, scooting back into this video.
We gotta get out of the road. Let's get out of the road, please. Get out of the road, please. You still a cracker? You still a cracker? You a cracker, motherfucker. You a cracker. You a cracker. He a cracker. You a cracker. You a cracker. You ain't gonna get me, cracker. They've been trying to get me, cracker. You ain't gonna get me, cracker.
Yeah, and then I don't understand why this guy, and what's up with this guy standing like this? This is very bothersome. This is very bothersome. Who is this dude right here? Okay, what about this guy right here? Why is he standing that way? Do you see his feet? What's up with this? That man has never been laid. Like, not never. Okay? Why is he standing that way? He's like holding his flag, feet strangely angled like he's a penguin. What's going on with that? Yeah, the racism is real, and it's popping outside this courthouse, y'all. What's up with that? That's so weird. That's so weird. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Oh my God. And this just started, guys. This just started.
Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Amen and amen and amen.
I'm gonna roll that back one more time. Hold on. Hold on. That caught me off guard. I'm sorry. That completely caught me off guard. Hold on. Okay, let's let's do that again.
Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Ah! Ah! Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Amen and amen and amen. Oh, I must. Oh my God. Let God arise and his enemies be scattered. Ah! Ah!
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes. Let God arise. Yes. But what's that? What's going on here? Okay. I'm confused. I'm really what's going on? Does anybody know? Shroomy just sent me every time they bring back the McRib. Stop. Stop it. Stop. But that threw me off. Like, I opened it up. I thought it was at the beginning. It was like, I'm like, what's going on? We're here. We are here. That's where we're at. So yeah, this hasn't stopped. We got Queen Sheba. Let's see what she had to say about everything. Queen Sheba's giving us a little update here. Shout out to Queen Sheba on X. What's that? You know what I mean? What was that? No, you guys stop. Y'all need to stop. Okay? And those that are out there acting a fool outside the courthouse need to stop. Everyone needs to chill. What was that? Why is he it's a Christian horn, Pascal? I didn't know. I've never seen that before. A Christian horn? Someone explain that. Someone explain that. I'm sorry, with all due respect. What's the horn? Why is the horn? What's up with the horn? Like, I'm expecting now somebody else is going to be like, oh yeah? Well, I got me a didgeridoo. Like, wait for it. And then that person's going to be like, whoa, 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 like that. You know what I'm saying? Wait for it. Yeah, I was waiting for the Wakanda Forever BS. Yeah, I didn't say it, but I was waiting for somebody to be savage and say that. Okay, I'm Christian and I don't really know about that horn. I'm just saying, with all due respect, somebody said it's a Christian horn, people. I've never seen that before in my life, with all due respect. Okay? No, that's not a conch from Lord of the Flies. A conch, okay, is a freaking shell. All right? I ain't never seen that in not no Christian church. For the life of me, I've never seen that. I've never seen that. And I've never seen, like that. I've never seen that before in my life either. With all due respect, I ain't never seen it. So if somebody educate me on that, because that's new for me. I ain't never seen that. And yeah, Catholic in Catholicism, they use horns, but they actually use they'll use brass, not the horn of an animal. So where's that? What? I ain't never seen that before. I've never seen a Christian church be like, God be with you. The body of Christ. I've never seen that before in my life. I'm sorry. I just haven't. So I'm wondering what that is. I'm just wondering what that is. I'm asking for a friend, with all due respect, because that threw me the F off. The F off. Okay? The F off. Now, don't get me wrong. Some Christian churches, they'll speak into tongues. No. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Because they got the spirit in them. And I get that, but I've never seen a horn before in my life. Tiff said, I have seen a Christian horn, but not like that. I've never seen that before in my life. I've never seen it. White and black churches. Let me just make that abundantly clear too. I ain't never seen that in my life. Okay, let's go over to Queen Sheba real quick. Okay, so we can forget what we just saw. The circus is beginning. Okay, this is just the start of it. All right? And I get that there are people out here that are very passionate about Karmelo Anthony coming out free. But there's also a lot of people that are very passionate about Karmelo Anthony being locked up. So this is going to be a very, very, very crazy roller coaster ride. Okay? It's going to be a very interesting roller coaster ride. Let's see what Queen Sheba had to say about all this now.
All right, y'all, we are live in front of the Collin County Courthouse, day 3 of the Karmelo Anthony trial. Right now, we are on a 45-minute recess. I got in the courtroom. I am in the courtroom on the second row. I can see the family. I can see the defense. I can see the government. I can see everything. I am going to go live a little bit later tonight, so make sure you tune in into my YouTube. But right now, let me give you some facts of the case, okay? Fact number 1, this is a first-degree murder case. Fact number 2, Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf had no previous relationship.
Okay.
So I know there's rumors on social media that maybe the twins were bullying Karmelo. According to the opening statements on the behalf of the government, they had no previous encounters. They didn't know each other. Fact number 3, Centennial High School, the day of the fatal event, they did not have a tent. Centennial High School did not have a tent. Memorial had a tent, but not Centennial High School. Fact number 4, Karmelo Anthony, according to the defense, knew someone under the tent and went under the tent to talk to his friend. Fact number 5, Austin Metcalf.
Hold on. I'm rolling that back a little bit so we can hear those few again one more time. I'm so sorry, but I just need to hear it one more time because these are big facts. These are big facts now, okay? So let's hear them.
According to the opening statements on the behalf of the government, they had no previous encounters. They didn't know each other. Fact number 3, Centennial High School, the day of the fatal event, they did not have a tent. Centennial High School did not have a tent.
That's interesting, right?
Memorial had a tent, but not Centennial High School. Fact number 4, Karmelo Anthony, according to the defense, knew someone under the tent and went under the tent to talk to his friend. Fact number 5, Austin Metcalf. Many of you are saying, why would Austin approach Karmelo? That morning of the track meet, Austin Metcalf received a text from his coach asking him to step up and be a leader for the team and to help at the track event. So now we've got that fact out of the way.
Whoa. Interesting. So the coach sent a text message to him, to Austin, basically saying, like, I need you to be more of a leader. I need you to step up and be more of a leader. And that could be the reason why, that could have been the motivation behind why he felt compelled to walk over to Karmelo and basically say, like, why the hell you under our tent, bro? Get the hell out of here. This is my tent. This is our team's tent. I'm the leader. Right? That's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Oh my. That's interesting stuff.
So, yes, Austin received a text from his coach to step up as a leader on the team. Fact number 5, Hunter and Austin Metcalf approached Karmelo Anthony and stood over him, according to the defense.
Wow. So it wasn't just Austin that walked up to him and said, hey, bro, what the hell you doing under our tent? It was him and allegedly him and his twin brother, Hunter, that stepped up to him and said, what the hell you doing here, homie? Wow. Wow. Okay.
Fact number 5, there was a 100-pound difference between Karmelo Anthony. Fact number 6, there was a 100-pound difference between Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Karmelo weighed 130 pounds. It is believed, according to the defense, and he gave out the Austin weighed 225, 230. Okay, so there was a 100-pound difference. Those are the facts of the case. I will see you a little bit later for a deep dive.
Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Now that's very interesting. The text messages, the fact that he was much bigger than Karmelo. The fact that he got a text message. Okay, I said text message. His weight, he was much bigger than Karmelo. The fact that he went under there to talk to a friend of his. Okay, so it wasn't like he walked over there with ill intent, from what we're understanding. What was it? What else was there? They didn't know each other at all. That's very interesting. Now, does that mean that this is self-defense? No, it doesn't. We all have our questions, right? We all want to understand what the hell's happening here, right? And why this went the way it went. But there's a little bit of information that kind of gives us more insight on maybe Austin felt, that he needed to step up as a leader from like what he received as a text message. And so he was walking over to Karmelo to actually, express that, right? Interesting. Very interesting. But okay, hold on.
I will drag you from it.
I mean, this is bad. I mean, it's still like it's still getting ridiculous. Okay, more altercations, more BS.
I will drag you from it.
Degeneracy.
No impulse control. Shut your pussy ass. You talking all that shit? I'll talk, bitch. I'll bite you.
They're chipping out. Chipping the fuck out, man. Hey, Jake. Go on and fuck her.
Police are going to be very, very busy. I'm just telling you right now. Police are going to be very, very busy for foreseeable. I don't know how long this trial is. I don't know if it's like 4 weeks or 5 weeks or whatever it is. But for the next month, 50 local PD are going to be really busy. I'm just letting y'all know. This is going to be a very busy time over here.
You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing.
Bitch, my name is Cecilia. My name is Cecilia. My name is Cecilia, Johnny. My name is Cecilia, Johnny. My name is Cecilia, Johnny. Stupid ass. Okay, Johnny. Okay, George. Okay, Bob. Okay, Dumb and Dumber. Okay, bitch. Ass. Okay, bitch ass. Okay, jackass. Yeah, shut the fuck up. And you want some straight up medicated.
Where's your bonnet at?
I don't have one. Where's Trump fucking you in the ass? Where he? Where's Trump raping your ass? Where he?
I'm done. She just said, I'm not going to repeat what she said. You heard it. Have mercy. Have mercy.
We know all you white motherfuckers is freaking. I don't have any. I have 8 and they'll beat your ass.
8 babies, I'm sure.
8 beautiful babies. 8 beautiful babies.
$16,000 a month for this black.
And I have another one with your son. I have a baby with your kid. Shut the fuck up. Now, bitch, what you
Send the blacks back to church. By Jesus. You're welcome to America, but when you want to behave
Oh boy, yeah, we are living in some crazy times right now. I feel it feels very lonely. I'm not gonna lie, it feels very lonely. I mean, cops are out. Okay. Cops are out. there are demonstrations happening. Let's see what. So this is from Fox News. Let's see. Things got heated outside the courthouse in this trial. As it got underway, supporters on both sides squared off, shouting and antagonized each other. We already know what he's accused of. So let's just take a look at the video, shall we?
Hi, Brooke.
Hi, John. Well, the jury just returned from a lunch break. There are cameras not allowed inside the courthouse. But if you look behind me, check out what's happening outside the courtroom here. You have protesters on both sides. They've been arguing with each other, antagonizing each other. We have the sheriff's office here making sure that things don't get out of control. This case, it has sparked some strong emotions. Karmelo Anthony's defense today arguing this is a case of self-defense. Prosecutors, on the other hand, calling it a, quote, provoked, unjustified murder. 17-year-old football star Austin Metcalf was stabbed during a high school track meet back in April of 2025. Police say the confrontation started when Metcalf told Anthony he wasn't supposed to be in his team's tent. Investigators say it quickly escalated, ending when Anthony pulled out a knife and stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Anthony has pleaded not guilty to murder. Race, though, as you mentioned, it's become a major issue surrounding this case. Supporters raising hundreds of thousands of dollars online for the teen charged with murder.
We came by plane, by bus, by cars. We traveled.
But today in court, prosecutors said this is not a case of race or self-defense. They said that Metcalf was unarmed and argued that Anthony provoked this fight and pulled out a hidden knife. Metcalf's twin brother and mom previously spoke to Fox.
He always was one to step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
And
I'd like to know when this text message was actually sent from his coach. Was the text message sent from his coach in the very beginning of the meet? Or was it like when Karmelo got underneath the tent and he's like, yo, I need you to go and step up. Tell him that he needs to move. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And of course it's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of people that go down or they had a lot of belongings underneath the tent. I mean, if the guy walked over there to talk to somebody and he was talking, if Karmelo went over there to talk to somebody and he went over there to talk to somebody, then he went over there to talk to somebody and that's it. But I can understand that things can be, lost in translation, but maybe he was also just trying to stay dry from being in the rain. There was rain. It was raining and he was trying to stay dry from being, out in the rain. So I don't know that, again, it makes me wonder, when was that text message sent to Austin Metcalf before he walked over there? You see what I'm saying? Now that could make no difference to the outcome of what happened, but it could also give him motivation to kind of be like, yo, I'm a leader. Let me be that leader. You see what I'm saying? And he's young. He's 17, So again, like I said, I'm not justifying anything. I'm just asking questions. All right. But it's sad to see what we're seeing out here outside of the courthouse. It is really sad. But this is America, guys. Welcome.
John, back out here live, we're going to keep an eye on what's happening between these protesters and supporters on both sides. Inside the courtroom, I'm told that they're starting to hear witness testimony, including some surveillance footage.
Interesting. Okay, and again, the plot continues to thick on. We also have, it looks like, live updates here. Hold on, what the heck? Hold on. What the heck?
Of helping.
Hold on. What? My mouse is tripping balls. Okay. So let's see. This is what they're saying so far. Shocking footage shown to Karmelo Anthony, to the trial. Okay. And so the moment he actually fled the stadium after taking the knife to Austin Metcalf. Okay, so the murder trial it's has begun. Today's the first day. He stands accused, which we already know. In the opening statements, prosecution revealed Metcalf's distressing last words as he lifted up his shirt and exclaimed, "I've been stabbed," before tumbling down bleacher steps. Wow, that's bad. Where his brother, Hunter, rushed to his aid. Prosecutors allege that Anthony Karmelo, now 19, tossed the murder weapon before fleeing the scene, attempting to blend in with fellow students while making his escape. That's not entirely what happened. We already know from police reports, but moving on. After his arrest, he claimed he acted in self-defense in the disagreement over seating at the Centennial High School meet. He has pled not guilty. Jurors were shown shocking footage of the surveillance footage where Anthony and Metcalf tussled for 4 minutes before Anthony fled from the tent towards the actual stadium exit. Interesting. So now they're saying, according to this article, they're saying that there was a tussle for 4 minutes. So it wasn't just like a push stab and he ran. There was a tussle for a while and then he ran. Interesting that there was a tussle, not him sitting down for 2 minutes, talking to a friend like, "What's up? How you been? Blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to stay out of this rain. It's crazy, right?" And then he walked up and was like, "You're not allowed to be here, bro." And he's like, "Yo, touch me and find out. Touch me again and find out." And then push, stab, all that happened in 2 minutes? No, they're saying, according to this article, tussled for 4 minutes and then he ran. 4 minutes is a long ass time. Try going into the ring. All right. Like doing ding, ding. You know what I mean? You're doing some boxing stuff at the local gym, doing some, you know what I mean? You get winded real quick. 4 minutes is a long ass time. So that's very interesting. Okay. 4 minutes is a long time. If the tussle really was 4 minutes. Moving on. The trial is expected to last around 2 weeks. So it's only 2 weeks. So that's good. With the case drawing intense national attention over race and privilege, with supporters rallying behind Anthony, saying he has been treated unfairly because he is black. A jury of men and women with 6 alternates was selected after roughly 600 prospective jurors, like we already know, were questioned in the process that began on Monday. However, some were released after stating they could not set race aside as a factor in finding guilt or innocence. One black juror stood up and said, "I don't know that I could put another brother in jail," during questioning, and then, of course, was later struck off. All right, so there's that, right? Footage of him fleeing the scene, which we have not seen that footage yet. Don't know if they're even going to put that footage out. I'm wondering if that's going to get leaked. Maybe it will. Okay. And that's one thing, Keem World, 4 minutes in front of people and no one did nothing. 4 minutes of a tussle. Did the 4 minutes of a tussle actually happen? Or was it something like more like 2 minutes to 30 seconds? You see what I'm saying? And that's the other thing too, Alante. Okay. You know for a fact these kids are going, "Oh, world star." You see what I'm saying? "Oh, snap, a fight? We got to record this." You know for a fact everybody's real fast to pull up their phones and start recording. So you mean to tell me they don't have not one video? I find that weird. I find that odd. Footage shows him fleeing the stadium after taking the life of Austin Metcalf. Surveillance footage played for the jury, showed Karmelo Anthony fleeing from the actual high school stadium after he took the life of Austin Metcalf. The video appeared to show a person pushing another person under the tent at the stadium, While their faces were not visible in the footage, prosecutors say Anthony and Metcalf were together under the tent for about 4 minutes. There's a difference between they were together under the tent for 4 minutes and there was a tussle for 4 minutes. So which one is it? Then a person identified by prosecutors as Karmelo runs from the tent, fleeing the stadium towards the exit. He later slowed down and blended into the crowd of other students. The prosecution is questioning its first witness, Mark Porter, a forensic video analyst for the Tarrant County Fort Worth District Attorney's Office, about the actual video. Cross-examination begins with trial's first witness. The defense began its cross-examination of the forensic video analyst that we were just talking about after he was asked to analyze what he saw in the surveillance footage when the stadium, or the footage that was taken from the actual stadium on the day of the actual stabbing. Toby Shook began his cross-examining for the defense, pointing out that because the video consists of a series of still images from a distance, the view would not be able to pick up mouth or head movements. Porter agreed that the viewer would not be able to tell if an argument was had while watching the actual video. Opposing protesters, which we've already been seeing a lot of that. Okay, we've been seeing all that footage. Okay, this is the first scene, few sketches. Yeah, he literally cut his hair low. This is some of the first scene photos of inside the courthouse, or the courtroom, I'm sorry. Judge tosses out disruptive spectators from the courtroom. What? Judge Roach called for a brief 10-minute recess before 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time after catching spectators talking among themselves during trial proceedings. I've seen some people talking. I'm going to excuse you from the courtroom. Period. Wow, he even said period. Wait, hold on. He said period? Dude said period. Is he black? He said, I've seen some people talking. I'm going to excuse you from the courtroom, period. What? Or is he white and he just watches a whole lot of Real Housewives of whatever? I'm asking for a friend. That's crazy. Judge Roach. He said period. He really said period? I'm sorry. That's so random. Maybe it's a misunderstanding. I'm going to excuse you from the courtroom, period. Interesting. Here's some info about the judge here really quick. So the Collin County District Court Judge John Roach Jr. is overseeing the actual murder trial of Karmelo Anthony. The Republican and Marine vet. Okay, so he might be white. The Republican. I'm kidding. It's a joke, guys. Don't be mad. I'm just joking. Everyone gets so angry. The Republican and Marine veteran has been a state district judge since 2007 and won his first election to preside over the Collin County 296th District Court in 2018. He was reelected in 2022. He has issued strict orders regulating public conduct during Anthony's criminal proceedings. Roach ordered that no recording, broadcasting, or photography be allowed in the courtroom during the trial. Additionally, only 9 credentialed media members, including this periodical, the Daily Mail, will be allowed in the courtroom per day, and the court will decide who is credentialed. There will also be strict rules about decorum. So all persons, additionally 9 media members, okay, will be allowed in the courtroom per day. So we got to keep an eye on this article right here, or this periodical here, okay? Yeah, period, full stop. I get it. I'm just saying it was just funny, okay? It was just like period. You know what I mean? Moving on, though. So there will be there will be some sort of media coverage inside the courtroom. That's why we're getting these real-time updates right now. You see that? So, shout out to Daily Mail, I guess. Okay, so this is that's the judge. Here come the judge. He white. I was not wrong. He is white. So moving on. So additionally, only 9 credentialed media members, including Daily Mail, will be allowed in the courtroom per day, and the court will decide who is credentialed. Okay. There will also be strict rules about decorum. He says all persons present in the courtroom shall remain silent and respectful at all times. No talking, gestures, facial expressions, or other reactions to testimony. Rulings or proceedings shall be permitted. This is what he said in his order. He's like, there will be no reactions whatsoever. Period. So there's that. There you go. Daily Mail, one of the 9 credentialed news organizations at the trial. So they're one of the 9 that are allowed in the courtroom at this trial. Only credentialed members of the media are allowed to bring electronics into the courtroom. Oh, yeah. All right now. Okay, we got some people in the courthouse. This is great freaking news, period. So less than 30 members of the public were allowed into the courtroom today. So they're allowed to bring in electronics. That's the reason why we're getting these updates right now in real mother-loving time. Yes, sir. I love it. So less than 30 members of the public were allowed into the courtroom today, and they are not allowed to use electronics. Yes, baby. So yes, that man right here. I said it right here. Right here. All right. I deserve respect in my courtroom. Okay, right here. Period. Don't you dare be disrespectful to Judge Roach right here. Okay. You got another thing coming. All right. You got another thing coming. Okay. You better respect Judge Roach. Here we go. So now we got somebody in the mother-loving house. So that's great. That's great news. We can get more info on what the hell is going on. So I'm very happy about that. Okay? That's fantastic. Fantastical. So we could possibly do like we did with the diddler. Maybe. All rise now, period. You know? Whew. Okay. See new posts. Let's see. Do we have new posts? Do we? Yes? No? Who are the other? That's what I'd like to know. Who are the other? Who are the other ones giving live updates, love? Hold on. I'm so happy about that because this would have been bad. But now that we're finding out about this, hold on. Live updates. Boosh. Let us see here. We got the Dallas News. We got CBS News. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, Hercules. Yes, Christmas came early. No, this is great. Oh, so tomorrow's going to be a big day. I'm just going to let y'all know. Okay? We going to have a big day tomorrow covering all this. Yeah. Right here. Yep. That's what we're going to do right here. Okay? Period. Let's take a look at this. Defense. Okay. So, after noon lunch break on Thursday, the court resumed with the prosecution continuing to show the jury both the unaltered and enhanced videos of the moments leading up to the actual stabbing. But according to CBS News, Texas reporter J.D. Miles, and no relation, J.D. Miles, okay, so far, the magnified videos, which have been viewed by the public, which have never been viewed by the public, still do not produce a clear visual of what happened under the tent in the bleachers of the stadium where Metcalf was fatally stabbed. Prosecution then passed the witness to the defense for cross-examination. Defense attorney Toby Shook commented on how unclear the video of the incident was, asking the question, "You really can't tell what people are doing under the tent, can you?" Concerning whether you can tell what led up to the actual stabbing. The witness said, the porter answered, "No, sir." There's no way to determine when an argument starts or stops, can you? This is what the lawyer said, what the defense lawyer said, okay? Says, "No, sir. You wouldn't be able to tell the jury there's an argument." So Porter says, "No, you can't." That's a big freaking deal. So it's like, okay, can you tell that there's an argument going on? This is his defense attorney. This is Karmelo's attorney, Toby Shook, that's actually asking this. You mean to tell me, sir, that the footage is so bad that we can't tell whether or not there is an actual verbal altercation between these two young men? And of course, Porter's like, "No, sir. There is really no way to determine when an argument starts or stops." Or sorry, he just says, "No, you wouldn't be able to tell the jury there's an argument." This is what Shook asks. And he says, "No, sir, you just can't." So again, this is crazy. Oh yeah, thank you so much for reminding me that the poll is still up. Let me end that poll, okay? On a completely different subject matter. But do you think D4vd's friends knew about the murder of Celeste? 87% of y'all say yes. Have mercy. Out of 536 votes. That is insane. Have mercy. Damn. Damn, Daniel. Damn. Damn. Moving on, though. Let's see. Prosecution calls. Okay. Okay. Defense. Okay, hold on. Let's go. Let's check out. Let us see. Jury selection begins. We already saw that. We already know about the no black jurors. Let's go here. Prosecution calls murder senseless and says case has nothing to do with race. Have they seen outside? Okay. Let's just take a look at this. Let's just take a quick gander, love. Shall we? Okay. Let's take a look. Collin County Judge Roach Jr., Roach, is presiding over the case. During his introduction, announced that both defense and prosecution would have 20 minutes for their opening statements. Damn, that's crazy. Okay, so the jury was made up of 11 women and 7 men, was seated... was seated as Karmelo Anthony's parents and Metcalf's parents sat on opposite sides of the courtroom. Anthony looked on, dressed in a suit and tie. What else is new? The prosecution opened with Collin County's first assistant DA, who wasted no time and dived right into the tragedy. He told the jury that Anthony plunged a knife and buried it into the heart of another young man, causing his death, and then ran away. So Wiersky, maybe I'm saying that correct? Wiersky said that the case, quote unquote, has nothing to do with race or anything to do with Karmelo's claims that he was acting in self-defense. He called the unaliving of Metcalf unjustified and senseless. So then he said the video will tell the story of Metcalf's killing, and told the jury they'll hear from numerous witnesses who were there. That's going to be crazy. So let's hear about what the defense says. They say that he reacted out of fear before allegedly stabbing Austin Metcalf. So let's see what he has to say. Lead defense attorney Mike Howard began by stating there was a lot of noise around the case that is taken away from the person that Karmelo Anthony is: a son, a brother, the oldest of four, a friend, and a straight A or an A student. Okay. He described Anthony's success as a student athlete while being diagnosed with epilepsy. Interesting. He then shared how Anthony ended up in that section where he allegedly got into an altercation with Austin Metcalf. Howard said that Karmelo walked around to get out of the rain and recognized someone near the memorial tent, where he entered and he was told to leave by Austin. He said Karmelo Anthony, who is 5'8" and about 130 pounds, was confronted by both Austin Metcalf and his brother Hunter, who are both 6'1" and 215 mother-loving pounds. That's a big old boy. Those are two very big old boys. But moving on. Howard said the jurors will hear two different accounts of how the confrontation happened, but wanted to make it clear Austin Metcalf made the first physical contact in spite of the warning to not touch Karmelo Anthony. He said Anthony made, quote unquote, made a split-second decision out of fear. This is going to be a fascinating trial. This is going to be a very fascinating trial. Hamburger. Okay, so there's that. Okay, interesting. Okay, Ree, thank you for gifting 5 new memberships. Welcome to the family, all 5 of you. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it. So again, they are arguing that he made a split-second decision. He didn't know, it's like he didn't know what the right thing was. He didn't know what to do. He was put in a very strange and awkward position, and he pounced. He reacted. Is this justified? I truly do not know. Like I said, I'm hoping that we get more information. And I'm hoping that we get other angles. Maybe there's going to be some smoking gun evidence that comes out of nowhere, and it's going to be like, oh my gosh, we have a whole new angle, and it shows the truth. Like I said, where's the info? Where's the proof of that, right? Where's the proof of self-defense or of malicious intent? That's what I want to see. That's the problem that we're dealing with right now, right? But unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to wrap up the show. Okay, we've gone through many things, but tomorrow we will most likely start very much on an earlier time, so that we can get in here and maybe cover some more of this story, of this case. As you guys already know, there's been a lot of bad publicity and a lot of tension going on outside of the courthouse, and it's only going to get worse. We're going to see a lot of people out in the streets of that courthouse trying to make their voices heard, whether they agree, like whether they think that Karmelo Anthony did this out of self-defense or that he did this with ill intent. What's really sad about this is, yes, they say this is not about race, and it shouldn't be about race unless and only unless it was racially motivated. If it was not racially motivated, then there really doesn't need to be any need for any of these people outside to be, starting a fight with each other over race. If race has nothing to do with this, then it should be as such. But the media has taken it, everybody has jumped on one side or the other. People are judging each other for thinking that he did no wrong, that he did it out of self-defense, or the others are losing their minds if you think that he should be locked up because he did this maliciously. It's absolutely insane. It's just like this Karen Reed case that everybody's talking about again, all over again, right? So again, it's, yes, Keem, it's about the facts. It's about the evidence. It's about what they can actually see. And right now, what's not helping at all is that you can't see nothing with the footage that they have. So hopefully they have more. And hopefully these eyewitnesses that were right there, I'm not talking about eyewitnesses that were like on the last bleacher seat all the way up in the top. I'm talking about the ones that were right there, right next to the situation. Hopefully they can paint us a more vivid picture of what actually happened. Ella, I don't know what time. I will let you guys know in the community page. I'll let you guys know what time, because I don't know. I mean, it looks like they start around, let's see, hold on. It looks like this one started around, I mean, it looks like they started around like 10-ish. It might be 9 Central Standard Time. So 9, I'd probably be on around 10 or so, just to let it cook a little bit, let the updates cook, kind of like what we did with the Diddy thing, with the Diddy trial. We didn't start at the very, very beginning. We kind of waited, and then we just played catch up, because these updates they just trickle in. It's a slow ass trickle. Trust and believe, it's a slow ass trickle. So we might just do that, because even so, I'm going to like Daily Mail and to CBS News just to see if they have any new updates, and they ain't got none so far. So we will. Oh, there's a new one. Hold on, let me give you guys this one too. State calls Frisco Memorial head track coach to the stand. Ooh, this might be interesting. But they called Rob Starr, 41-year-old head track coach at Frisco Memorial High School, to the witness stand. He's also the position coach for the football team at Memorial, and knew both Austin and Hunter Metcalf and their parents. Austin Metcalf for about 1 year, and Hunter Metcalf for about 2 years. So that's interesting as well. So that'll be interesting to hear what he has to say. But unfortunately, guys, because I didn't know that we were going to have updates like this, I thought we were just going to have to wait till the end of day kind of thing. I'm going to have to do some coverage on that at a later time when I get some free time. Unfortunately, I got to wrap up the show. But that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. If you appreciated the show, yeah, it's the coach that sent the text message to Austin. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. I may have to do that in a pop-up video or something like that when I get a second. You know what I mean? But please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, crush and do what it do, hit that reaction button if you're watching on these other platforms. If you are watching on these other platforms like Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Twitch, Kick, I'm on all of them, so make sure you follow. Hit that follow button, please. Subscribe here on my YouTube channel. Go to my second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Chunks of the show are going to be over there too. If there's something that you missed or a story that you want to relive, you can go over to that second channel. So make sure you're subscribed to that second channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Hit that join button down below, become a member, but also don't forget to hit that like button down below, that notification bell, set it to all so you know whenever I go live, whenever I upload, all right? Hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, and of course, check out PascalMerch.com. PascalMerch.com, we got some really great stuff over there, PascalMerch.com. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. We'll be talking here very, very soon. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, and we're here to cover it all. So make sure you hit that subscribe and that notification bell, and we'll be talking here soon, all right? But until then, be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.